Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Data Anomaly Hunter's Scar, Season 2, Episode 6, City Shenanigans. This is one of our Digimon tabletop RPG campaigns being run with our custom Scar system, or Stories and Creatures in Alternate Realities. The system is available for open playtest on our Discord as well as on itch.io, so take a look at it and let us know what you think. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and begin with introductions, starting with Zerda.
Hello, I am Zoda the Fox. I've spent a good amount of time doing the game with everyone, and I'm happy to continue doing it tonight. And then we have Arcus / Folger.
Hi, I'm Gimund, and I'm playing Folker, the brother of Arcus who is basically in Arcus's body. They are a Harrismon electric basic type. Onto the Asher.
Hello everybody, I am Razim, and I'm playing as Asher, the Labramon. Astral Light type, God of Death, Lord of Evil, Master of all Undead, etc., etc. Off to the minion.
Hello, y'all. I'm IDDoThings, or Ido if you prefer, and I play Haboku, the Lucamon, Necrotic Fire, currently in a state of undeath and minion to Asher. On to the Jace.
Hello, I'm Drunk Dragonair, and I'm going to be playing Jace, the Black Gillimon X, that is Shadow Mythic type, and currently jamming out. Go ahead, Kotora. Kabuto.
Hello, everybody. I'm Raharu, and I'll be playing Kotora, the Mythic Fire type Gabumon. And he probably needs to bench the frustration after the awkwardness of the previous session. On to you, Riv.
Hello, I'm Taldus, and I will be playing Riv, the Mythic Water-type Vorphamon. And what awkwardness? There was totally no awkwardness whatsoever, just ignore Riv.
Alright, and for the recap, we'll go ahead and turn it over to...
A generous bestowal.
Oh, I
That's a
forgot to
volunteer.
update the total of that.
Gimund tipped $10. Traditional anomalies.
$160.
There, that's been updated. Well, go ahead, Gimund, because of that 1 cent.
Well, it began with, basically, strangely enough, Folker waking up. And, heading, back down to the room where, Haboku, Kotora, and Riv were sleeping. And, he, as he passed by their room, decided to, basically check on them to see if, anything was, going on in there. And, so he peeked open the door and, saw notes underneath.
IDDoThings tipped $10. Tired Bork don't have the energy to try and fix the gremlin tips tonight. Also tradition Razim coins.
Thank you for the tip, Ido, and you as well, Merle.
A kind gesture.
That is the second tier of the tip goal completed.
Okay.
Demon, just continue with the recap and don't be trying to make a mess of the tip goal again.
And Folger decided to investigate a little bit by going further into the room, but he wanted to be cautious about it, so because of his timidness, and well, Haboku noticed, and what ensued was Haboku basically chasing after a startled Folger. And Folger trying to find a place to hide, with him basically ending up getting makeup thrown at him. And eventually, after that, Haboku caught up to him because Folger basically froze in place. After Haboku basically prevented it, blocked his path. After a little bit of prodding from Haboku, he was able to finally unfreeze Folger a little bit by giving him a hug. And they managed to go back to the room. And Kotora basically sort of got woken up a little bit from all this once they got back to the room. And then there was basically some conversation with a very rigid Folger. And eventually, Kotora asked them about breakfast, and Folger asked for some Digi Snowberries, and Haboku was basically down for anything, I'm pretty sure. And so Kotora went to get food after asking Riv first what he wanted, but Riv kind of was like the same case because he was still out of it, because he was still sort of exhausted. And so Kotora went down there to get food for people. And so Kotora asked the chef there for snowberries, and got some other food for everyone, I'm pretty sure, and then went back up to the room. However, upon going back to the room, it turns out the berries were the wrong kind. They were snozberries instead of snowberries. The exact opposite of snowberries. Because apparently these berries are very spicy. So Kotora had to go back and exchange them out, while at the same time giving some cooking advice to the chefs there about sorting ingredients. And after that, I believe we went to the Asher and Jace for a bit, where Jace had still his claw in the water. Pretty sure. And Asher went out to examine his work, but Unfortunately, nothing really happened because Jace has scales. And so Asher basically decided he was gonna make pancakes. However, Jace was secretly still awake and decided to sneak up on Asher, startling him. And then some more shenanigans, I think, were ensued there. Don't remember all of them, though. Then I believe it went back to Kotora and Riv, who were basically... Kotora wanted to find out more about, basically what Riv said about getting kidnapped. But... Riv was kind of very uncomfortable about wanting to talk about it. And in the middle of that, the housekeeper came in and sort of made things awkward. Even more awkward. And after the housekeeper left, things were kind of like still awkward from that. And it was kind of I think decided that we'll talk about that later, sort of thing. And I believe at least one thing needs to be said later about it. And then Fulgur went off to the blanket store. Oh, but first Fulgur wrote on the back of Riv's note saying he would replace the paper he used earlier. And then he went off to the blanket store to get a custom blanket. And Asher went to the adventuring store and found a tactical shovel as well, and got some other things as well. And then coincidentally also started heading towards the blanket shop. And Jace, I believe, went to the bar district for a late night shift.
Try and make some scrap, yeah.
And so Fulgur basically wrote out his custom blanket order after asking for a piece of paper to write it on. And got that taken care of. And it'll be ready in about 3 days. And then as he headed back outside, turns out Asher was also heading to the blanket store. And basically Fulgur sort of just sat out, waited outside for Asher to come closer. And Fulgur wanted to talk to Asher about something. And then Asher said they would go to his house to talk about it. But first he wanted to get some blankets for everyone. So he went to do that, and then after he got the blankets, they headed off to Asher's house. And Fulgur also got some paper from the blanket shop. think that's most of it.
Yep, and then Jace was doing training and exceeded very well in the training ground.
Oh yeah, there was that.
And we left off with Fulgur and Asher going to their house. We have Jace continuing Bar Town. We have Riv going to the lab, and Haboku and Kotora going to the training room.
Say start with Jace real quick.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of something real quick.
Yeah. Jace, what kind of music are you playing at the bars?
Alternative.
Okay. Let's see here. Go and roll me a D100 for no particular reason. Percentile.
Oh, is this to find a rock on the cave floor?
Is
Yep,
there
obviously
drinks
this is
at
to
the
find a
bar?
rock.
Is there drinks at the bar? We'll have to find out. Let's see.
Unfortunately, I do not find a rock on the clay floor.
Okay, and it looks like you hear about, as you're kind of in the bars, you do kind of pick up some of the rumors that are around. Some people being a little bit louder than others, some being, more quieter, but it sounds like you listen in, and it sounds like they are talking about how some of the glitch from where they came from seems to be altering Digimon in a way that seems to be merging them with other Digimon parts. And they talk about how there was essentially one Digimon that ended up taking over the parts of another, and how whenever they fled their home, those were causing a lot of trouble back in their hometown. You notice just by, as you're kind of listening, essentially just kind of vaguely listening in over everything, they seem to be a rowdy group of what look to be in sailoring clothes. And as you all would know, the South is home to, essentially, if you go far enough south, you hit a major ocean, sea kind of area, where a lot of ships make port to different areas.
Icky. Good to know.
Just a little rumor table for you. Let's see here. Okay, and let's see. I know Haboku and Kotora, you guys. Let's go ahead and go with you guys to the training room. See what you can role play there out together. So you're going to the indoor one, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, because they were
Okay.
doing melee.
As you make your way inside the training room, you do see a few new faces in the training room. Haboku, you specifically would recognize one person that was there last time you went, which was a double check, but was a I think it was a there we go. You actually see what looks to be a Gazamon in there that seems to be having these knuckles that they seem to be practicing on, and the knuckles themselves seem to glow with an almost bright light to it, making it very noticeable as it stands out in the room. But they seem to be practicing very much so with a little few louder than probably necessary grunts. But they seem to be practicing on what looks to be a hardened metal dummy in the room. Other than that, there's about 2 others that seem to be sparring, but for the most part, it is mostly very, very quiet outside of the few people sparring. And yep, you have most of the floor to yourself.
Well, upon going in, Haboku will wait and see what Kotora is down for doing.
Raharu?
Raharu.
Testing,
Raharu?
testing. Can you
Oh,
hear
there
me?
you go. Now you can.
I was muted. Damn it.
Dispense the meme.
I'm
Post it,
doing
Tal.
such. I just have to grab it.
Yes, you'd also see the one of the sparring partners, Haboku, does seem to be the one that you recognize is the Shamamon, the one that is insistent on punching everything. They seem to be still doing well.
Okay. Okay, so what I was saying while I was muted is that Kotora looks kind of frustrated and uncomfortable at the moment. He's like he's tapping his foot rapidly as we enter the training room. He's just looking around for a moment before he turns to Haboku and just asks, "So what do you do when it comes to sparring?"
Tim, when I remember, usually we just, take turns and, hitting things or each other. I'm not good at explaining this.
Hmm. I guess maybe we could try just hitting some training dummies then.
Okay, we can do that.
Kotora nods.
You see a set of from the ceiling, hanging from the ceiling. You see a set of targets. If any, and you kind of see it's been singed, frozen. There seems to be all sorts of mishap and damage to it, but they still seem to be holding strong. It's not exactly as wide open as some of the outsider areas, but there definitely was. If you'd like to practice any sort of ranged attacks, the targets do seem like they are a challenge enough to hit them with a bullseye sort of ring around it to indicate your accuracy with it. There's also a series of both wooden and metal dummies, those with harder fists and harder attacks, obviously going for the metal, while those having essentially softer hits may find themselves much more comfortable with the wooden dummies themselves.
Kotora is going for one of the metal dummies because he doesn't want to set the wooden ones on fire.
Okay, well, accompany to one of the metal ones. Though you might need to be told not to bite that.
Kotora is
Uh,
good.
Are you just punching it, Kotora?
Yeah. Kotora is going to
Uh,
punch it with. Kotora is going to punch it with his flambe fist. Should I do an attack roll?
Yeah, go and give me 3 attack rolls. It's a series of attacks, so.
Accuracy and power, or just power?
Actually, just go for power. I don't think you're gonna miss the dummy. Lord help you if you miss a stationary dummy.
You have to botch, kinda.
Don't
Don't
speak
get
into
hung.
existence now.
Yeah. I'm just bringing up what it technically speaking takes.
I mean, now I'm tempted. Let's just see what happens if I do one accuracy roll with Kotora.
Lord have mercy for your tempting fate.
Ah, okay.
That is close, but you are able to hit it. Go and roll damage 3 times, just to kind of take the average a little bit.
Haboku will be sitting back slightly, just seeing how Kotora is. So it seems like
3.
oh,
It got
That might be a willpower or something. I don't know.
It got progressively worse. No, I'm keeping this.
You start
is
to
perfect. This
you
is
start
perfect.
off really strong, like really strong as you begin to hit the metal. the metal itself essentially heating up as you are essentially landing the punches. You do get a few gazes as your effort ends up putting in a good show, but after a few bits, you find yourself just tiring. You're not sure if it's the day's labor, whether it's the last adventure or what, but you find yourself essentially exerting all of your kind of anger and frustration out at the very beginning. But the second those punches essentially begin to land and you start to essentially exert yourself, you find yourself essentially tiring more and more, and and the flames themselves begin to go from a flaming blue to a cool orange to a very soft yellow, and you find yourself essentially you don't really realize how much you had pent up, but after blowing all of the pent up anger at the very beginning, you do find a sense of calm and almost form. It's less powerful, but you find yourself staring at the dummy a little bit more so in a more calculated manner instead of the wild abandonment that you started off with. But you feel like yourself has definitely calmed down from the initial rage of it all.
Kotora might be calm, but he's still sort of frustrated.
Naboku. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead with Haboku.
Naboku, you managed to successfully hit the target. Give
Actually,
me.
that
Oh,
was a
oh.
that was actually an insight check to see if he would notice as how out of it Kotora was from that.
I would say yeah. I would say yeah. With that kind of role, you would see essentially that same. They seem like they're punching not just a target, but it almost kind of senses as you're realizing it's almost like they're trying to punch sub one or something, less so more of a dummy and more so of an aggression. That it seems like their attacks seem to be very much landing with very big intent, with very very much vigor and essentially that whole body into it. But after a few bits, it almost seems like they begin to kind of calm down, like the dummy itself isn't the real target of what their anger is, and you see them hitting the target a little bit softer after a few hard indents into the sides of the metal chassis.
Haboku's going to take a wild guess. Are you still thinking about Riv?
Kotora is going to give the dummy one more punch before turning to Haboku and just say, "Well, of course I am. He's my brother after all."
I am a bit worried about him too, especially if the people who, you know, Haboku tries to gesture without outright saying it.
Kotora nods. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just that it isn't just the fact that he apparently got kidnapped and he doesn't want to tell me about it. Is the fact that something awful happened to him and I wasn't there to protect him. I wasn't there to make sure that it wouldn't happen. And again, perhaps we both would have been in trouble if I was there. But I still could have done something. Damn it! Kotra's gonna punch the metal object one more time with that. Damn it!
Haboku will droop his head a bit, looking sad, but there's almost like a very instinctive of like he actually relates with what Kotora said a lot, though he's not really sure why. And after Kotora just letting Kotora pull off more steam, he just steps forward and just tries to nuzzle him for comfort.
Kotora doesn't seem to react to the nuzzles for a moment, but after a bit, he does stop attacking the dummy for a bit and just let Haboku do that to him. I'm frustrated because my words are failing me. I can understand partly why he's not keen on talking about this. I'm pretty sure he was intent of just keeping that to him, and in this just sort of slipped up because of all the stress that we had during that entire situation with the city of Sashan. Yeah, I can't really be mad at it too much. It's not like he's the only one keeping secrets.
But that doesn't change that you want to help, right?
Of course. I always want to help him out. I mean, I am his brother after all. I don't like I'm not going to always be there for him, but I want to be there for him as much as I can. If I can't be there for him, then who else will?
That is a good perspective to have. But at the same time, it is good to put a little faith in him.
Kotora's gonna look down. I know. I do. I try. But I'm still worried regardless. He is he has a bit of problems when it comes to his self-preservation. If that makes sense.
Haboku will just give a little chuckle. I can tell he just likes to help.
He does. And honestly, I'm happy to be there to support him, but I also have to make sure that he ends up taking care of himself. Otherwise, he will help others so much that he will forget to help himself.
Another loyal devotee.
Thank you, Roxy62, for following.
Thank you for the follow.
I don't usually thank for follows during
Oh.
tabletop.
Yeah, it's subs.
There was a long
follows,
pause. I
yeah.
was
Sorry.
Forgive me, I was just trying to think of a good response here.
Yeah. Kotor is gonna say, perhaps that's a bit selfish of me to say, but yeah.
There's nothing wrong for wanting the people you care about to keep living.
Kotora, at the mention of keeping living, Kotora kind of looks a bit gloom for a moment, but just for a moment before it goes away, so he nods. Yeah, that is true. Well, I haven't seen you do um your training yourself, Haboku. I'd like to see how you do your thing, if you don't mind.
Sure. I was actually trying to learn how to do my fire again. I remember being able to do that in the past, but it hasn't really been that great lately.
Considering where your glitch is, I can imagine. You can do fire too, though. That's interesting. I'd like to see you try.
Okay. Yeah, Haboku will then attempt to do his spectral flame. Do I just roll a damage or accuracy?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we'll see how well it triggers and how bright the flame will be.
Ooh.
7.
Well, it's about as exact as you. I mean, that's about as successful as you could possibly get. Oh,
Got
let's see. Let's
Okay.
see.
Proceeds to get more successes. I was gonna bring up 10s, but I didn't want to jinx it.
So we got 6, and yeah, so that definitely not.
Okay.
So I think.
Or 5. Yeah,
So I think at the beginning, like I said, you start off strong as you're trying to essentially try to get the flame built up, but as all flames need time to essentially build, you find yourself compounding not only outwardly but also inwardly. And the flames originally going from a reversal of what Kotora had, where it was bright to dim. You start off a little bit dim, and as you're going through, the intensity begins to pick up, increasing that heat, and that fire begins to essentially light within you. As you begin to, how do you expel the fire, or expel the fire?
It's more he's just taking a deep breath and then attempting to fire air it more or less in like a plume.
Okay. So yeah, you find yourself originally essentially kind of breathing, and Koto, as you would be watching Haboku, you would essentially see like these breaths that begin to essentially, it's like seeing a smaller flame into a bigger flame. And as these breaths begin to exhale, you find them essentially kind of almost having this moment where they kind of almost close up a second, and then they let out an exhale loud of much more force than they have so far, and the breath, like an ignited spark, finds itself flowing not only over the dummy itself, but even all the way past it and through it as well, heating up the dummy without any issue at all. And after that, the fire itself seems to die out. It seems that there was a huge kind of burst from them, but after that huge burst explosion, they begin to essentially start panting, and that fire essentially goes and slowly starts quieting out, similar to yours. But the explosion in halfway through was much, much greater.
Haboku will be a bit surprised when it actually powers up again and briefly. Hey, but then he'll probably be less surprised when it weakens again.
Kotora's gonna give up. Kotora's gonna give some craps. Oh, amazing! It clearly shows that you are still trying to recall how to do it properly, but it seems that you're getting there.
Yeah, I think the snowberries helped me remember that a bit. Not the snow.
The snozberries.
Yeah, that one.
I wonder if you like the taste of them. If you have tasted them in the past. Oh wait, actually, didn't I give you some earlier?
Yeah, I think I remember them tasting really good.
Yeah, they did. I'm just glad that I caught it before Fulgur ate them. Otherwise, I feel like a disaster would have happened. He seems to only like cold foods, or perhaps can only eat cold foods.
Yeah. Do you still want to train more? Or do you still feel like you want to do something else?
Kotora is going to ponder about that. What is... Is there anything that you'd like to?
Haboku more or less tilts his head. Kotora might feel that Haboku might hate suffer the same thing as Riv does, where he often enjoys helping others but doesn't think about himself much.
What? This being a common problem? What?
Kotora is staring at Haboku for a moment, and he's just knowingly nods up and down. Okay, I see how it is. We can keep trying for a bit longer. Then perhaps maybe you'd like to come with me later. Here, maybe I can show you how to cook some food if you're interested.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean it might be something that you may have done in the past. It could help you with your memories. I'm not sure, and if nothing else, it might be fun.
Haboku's nodding eagerly as he's ready to throw himself at the trading dummies with Gutso.
Kotora goes back to hitting his straight dummy as well. Doing so, he still looks a bit frustrated, but he's much more calmer now.
Okay, and while you guys are doing that, Riv, you have successfully made your way to the lab.
Yep. So he has a couple of things he'll be doing. First, he's going to be making sure that he uploads like any sort of like glitch related data from his personal digipad over to the the local information storage thing, because he kind of agreed to do that, and also they want as much information as possible. So hey,
And you do
he has. Oh, go ahead.
Good. Just say you see inside. So there seems to be. You actually not only spot the Camamon from before, but you also see Kiga in there as well. They seem to be on a computer with several stacks of paper lined up on one side of them. On the other side of them seems to be a equally sized, but it looks like there is a bunch of stamps on the papers to their right. On the left, they seem to be pretty unstamped. You're not too sure what they're doing, but they definitely seem like they're doing a very much busy paperwork. And also, there's a few others in the lab, but mostly it's a almost ghost town in here with no more than maybe 3 Digimon plus Kiga in there.
Important question: is Han there?
Han is there.
Han is there. Good. All right. So, well, first of all, he's gonna go ahead and do that a data upload. Do you want him to roll for that at all, or?
I'll say it's more of a time than anything. So I would say no. You would be
That's
able
fair.
to
That's
upload
fair.
that.
He has already learned how to make sure that his custom digipad can interface with their stuff already. So just more figure it out if you wanted it.
Yeah, you've already succeeded at that in the past.
Yeah. And so he'll go ahead and basically, upload all of the glitch data, stuff to do with Regaria, all of that kind of stuff into the
database.
Kenzo database. I was trying to think of the town name.
Yeah.
And once he does that, he will first go ahead and just wave over to the other two, just like in a high kind of way, and then immediately go and go over to Han, waving happily and going, "Hi Han, I'm back from my mission."
They do actually spot you before you approach. So they don't jump as much, but you see as they're kind of like they kind of get that thing where like they see you walk in, and like they kind of like go into their shell a little bit, and then they kind of like they seem to be eyeing you a little bit as you go around. They seem to be like kind of looking back at their computer screen, back at you, back to their computer screen, And then as you kind of approach them, they kind of their head kind of fully comes out of the shell a little bit and say, "Oh, hi, you remembered my name? Hi, it's Viv, correct?"
Hi. Yeah, no, got back from the mission the other day, went ahead and caught up on sleep, and I was just here actually putting in, some glitch-related data from my mission, because, I know that you guys really want to get as much data on the glitches as possible, so made sure to help with that. Oh, how's your information compiling project going?
Oh, it's actually going quite well, actually. I've been trying to kind of look. Izzy points to the screen. I've been trying to get in contact with my old buddy back in the forest region, and he doesn't seem to be responding back to me. I haven't heard from him in a few weeks. He's another Caramon like me. It seems he was doing research over there, and he stopped responding.
Oh, you had a connection going all the way over there?
It's very, very sketchy. It might have something happened, might have gone down with it. It's very, very well, because we're both Caramon, we kind of exchanged, and he kind of looks a little bit to the left and right. We've experimented with some experimental data. If we find a way to connect all two datas together, then we can kind of talk to each other from a distance. But we have to give up a little bit of our data each to each other. It's kind of like a signal in a way.
Okay, so I don't want you to lose contact with your friend or anything, but you should be really, 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 really careful with stuff like that, because it also means that if something happens to him, you could get glitched through him.
Oh, he seems to be doing so much work there. I'm always afraid that he was gonna hurt himself or something. I haven't heard back from him though. I wish I would know what he's doing over there in that forest region. I think they might be getting onto him or something. I think if you just had a little bit of his data, you might be able to talk to him again. Maybe it's because we haven't exchanged data in so long.
Yeah, sorry, I know you got, kind of... You don't exactly have the good pass with the forest region, but, is there any way that I could help with that? I don't know if I'll be sent out that way anytime soon, but, well, I guess there is a couple days, but I don't know if that will help. How do I...
Give me a give me a lore check.
Lore. Gotcha. Well, good thing he did manage to get at least one of those points back. Oh, and actually, he got to sleep, so he got the other one back.
Yeah.
He was a sleepy boy. But anyway,
Okay.
all right, that's
I
gonna
would
be
say
5 logic.
with that, it kind of something sparks your memory whenever he mentions the other Camamon. It sparks your memory from the other night where what was it? Where the essentially the where Gurumon the other day, the leader was mentioning whenever Asher brought up the forest region. Whenever Kino was talking to you all, you remember him talking about a Camamon that was sent out that way to do some research within the forest area. And you're not too sure, but he didn't mention that there was any others. And this Camamon seems to be mentioning of another one that seems to be out there in that research as well. And you remember that Asher was also talking with that Camamon through his data pad.
Ah, yes, the mystery connection. Riv is gonna think for a second about this, just running through the information he has available. And he goes, hey, Han, was the other person... So someone got sent out that way pretty recently, actually, right?
Oh no, he was out there. He was there whenever I left.
Oh,
I
no, no, no.
said I.
No, I was saying, wasn't someone from the Data Anomaly Hunters sent out there recently?
Yeah, we both came to this town together to seek refuge, but he wanted to go back and study over there, so we kind of exchanged data while we were here in the lab, and that's how I kept a connection with him.
Okay, wait, so... Huh. How long have you had that data connection going?
Well, he left the town a few. Well, he's been out there for quite a few whiles now, maybe a month or if not more. I kind of lose track of time in here, but I lost connection from him about a few weeks ago, probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think 3 weeks ago.
Huh.
I hope nothing bad happened to him out there.
Yeah, that's weird, though. Okay, so... I, can't exactly do much about that right now. So, is there anything else you'd like me to help with while I'm here? I do actually have a couple of days before I get sent out again. And,
Gonna shows you. Well, I did do. I was before we lost connection with each other. I did get a lot of information. He says that he thinks something. He says he might know a source of some of the natural glitch in the area. After a
Oh.
lot of research, he says that He says that he thinks there's some kind of tree or something that's producing the glitch, like some kind of toxin. But
Um,
he says.
did he happen to send along any data on this that I could look at?
Yeah, and he'll pull up kind of like the journal notes of the other Camamon. He mentioned you kind of see the notes. It mentions about how he's been studying various fruits and essentially seeds of the area, and it mentions about how it looks like he has made connections between the glitch of the area and also the fruits and seeds. It seems like whatever seems to be spreading the glitch seems to be originating from some sort of tree, though he hasn't been able to locate the tree yet. And he says that he's gone close to a few times, but essentially there seems to be a large glitched type area into the northwest of the forest. And he doesn't feel comfortable going out that way yet until he has more understanding. But he thinks it might be tied to some sort of plant or fauna or some sort of tree or some sort of something nature related out there that seems to be causing a natural glitch flare up in the area.
Okay, what was the last thing you guys talked about? Is there anything he said he was going to go do before losing contact?
He said that he hasn't. He says he's been keeping a very close eye on. Well, he had some cameras up in the area. He mentioned a few different Digimon that weren't really native to the realm around, and he kind of shows you the notes. He says that a some sort of and kind of looks some kind of Digimon with like a flashing hand or some sort of like face lens or something was in the area along with a few other Digimon. And he says that they were exploring the area and he's been kept to hold in his bunker. He has like a little bunker out there that he keeps safe in. He keeps it pretty out of sight, but that was the last notes I saw of him whenever he mentioned about strange guests appearing to the forest. I'm afraid that they might have gone to him or done something with him.
Huh. Um, Have you told the rest of the DAH about this?
I mentioned that and he kind of looks over at Kiga a little bit, but doesn't really pay attention whether they're looking back or not. They've actually been trying to be on it. Like I said, the Kimimon was doing research between me and him, but since we lost connection, there's not really much we've been able to do, and with a lot of the trains being out of commission, we weren't able to really get anyone out to the forest for a while. I think they're just. And also, I hear the Guardians really. Well, because I don't hear, I know. The Guardian's a real jerk and isn't allowing anyone in the forest, so you have to kind of sneak in to get there. It's not exactly like something we'd want to bring an army to, but it's also not something that we'd want to risk someone going there, so we've been a little bit stuck. He has some good solid ground for knowledge and a few good things to go off of, but we were just hoping that maybe there would be some connection restored between us. Like I said, without him having my data and me having his data, something's broken on that, and we're not able to talk to each other now.
Do you still have his data?
He kind of looks, it feels like it's not as strong as it used to be. It feels very faded. I'm not sure if it's just the natural cause of it being, well, the way it is. Maybe it's something that we have to refresh, but I'm not entirely sure. It feels very weakened compared to what it was when we first started.
Okay, well, foreign data can sometimes, merge with, Digimon, so, it might be merging? I'm not actually entirely sure. I haven't really gotten a good look at anything like this, but, do you mind if I, is it localized anywhere that I could, try and familiarize myself with the signature in case I run across them?
You see him as he pats his, he kind of leans back in the chair a little bit and kind of shows you his belly. You see what looks to be a gem or some sort of marble that seems to be stuck in the middle of his shell, obviously placed there intentionally. This is where we kind of store it. It's kind of a way we store where all, well, it's kind of, and he shows you, he looked kind of embarrassed to be like showing you the front of his shell. This marble ends up storing a lot of our data, at least a lot of our internal data, and this is where we kind of exchange data.
Oh, well, if it's really personal, do you not want me to try and look?
You could try, I mean, you can definitely see if there's anything, if you have any ability to see that kind of stuff. I'm not really able to see that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm not the best at it, but I wouldn't be much of a field researcher if I couldn't at least see some things.
You see him as he'll look around a little few times, and he'll actually grab the marble and twist it out of the shell. It's actually here. It's something that it's something. It kind of looks. We're given these marbles at birth to kind of help us as we grow, and it is technically removable, but it's kind of very vital to us. So please be careful with it.
I will be very careful with it, I promise. And he is going to very carefully look it over. He's going to be, very, very gentle with it.
Yeah.
But he's going to try and, roll it around, in his claws slightly just enough so that way he's able to get a good look at all of it.
Yeah.
And then, work his way in, try and see if he can determine the data or not.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an appraisal.
Yeah.
Or investigation, either one.
It's gonna be appraisal for this, I think.
Yeah.
Do you want any modifiers to this roll?
No, not for this one.
No. Not for this roll? Cool. Gotcha.
It's completely foreign to you for this concept anyways,
3,
at least
4,
in
5,
terms of
6,
what this
7, 8,
is.
9. All right, understandable. Wow, that is garbage. Well,
It's a good build-up.
because I'm probably going to re-roll it anyway, let's go ahead and soul first.
There you go.
It turns it into a 4. Do I... 4 is average. 4 is average. However, Gamba Gamba.
Go for it.
Gamba Gamba.
Nope. Oh, 5.
Yep.
Okay. I would say, is there anything else you like to do with it?
Well, just because it has all those damn 9s sitting right there, like, he just got rid of all of that, so why not get it back?
Go for it.
He likes
Okay.
winning. So that turns it into a 11.
Okay. I would say with essentially studying it, like I said, you don't really have the ability to essentially break it down without destroying it, which I'm obviously assuming you aren't. But as you're able to do it, you are able to. Yeah. I would say, especially as you're studying it, you can tell that it seems to be a. Not really sure if it's a gem so much a marble, but it seems to be some sort of either nature or earth crystal. And it seems to be able to, almost like a sponge, you can kind of feel as you concentrate enough, you feel like you're actually able to, if you wanted, you feel like you could actually store some of your data in this. You're not really too sure of what purpose it would solve. You do know that sometimes data can regenerate, obviously in terms of like runes and things like that. Data can be restored if lost, but you feel like you could put some non-essential data into this as a sort of identifier or marker to you. And as you're kind of looking at this, you feel yourself almost able to give up part of that. You're not really too sure how long it would stay if it was in there, but it definitely does seem like you would be able to, as he says, essentially store this, some of your own personal data onto this, similar to like a disk or a drive in a sense.
Yeah.
But for your
there
own
is
body.
no way in hell he's doing that.
I would assume you're not going to put your data in there.
No. Well, first of all, rude. Second of all, like hell he wants any of his data in something so sensitive.
You would feel that you could if you wanted to, and it does feel almost like a pull. It actually takes a little bit of resistance not to, especially as you're investigating and focusing on it so much. It actually takes a concerted effort not to lose it.
He's going to be trying to make that concerted effort.
Yeah.
He does not want any of his data, entering into this very, very, I'll say critical and delicate item.
Yeah. And I would say with that appraisal, you'd definitely be able to avoid losing anything to it, but you would get a feel that if you're able to put something in, then stuff is obviously able to be pulled out. You're not too sure how much could be put in, but you feel like you could give up a decent amount and it would still be able to store it in full. It almost seems like it's yearning for that.
All right. Is he at all able to find and, get a good, I don't know, I guess I'll say, data print of the data from the other one that's in there?
I would say as you kind of thumb through it a little bit and kind of roll it around your hands, you realize that the ridges themselves seem to be almost shaping what looks to be originally a perfectly smooth ball. You almost, as you run your finger over it and your claw over it, you feel the most tiniest of little data ridges on it, almost like it is kind of like if you ever seen like how like a CD essentially like imprints data on it. I imagine like that, but onto the marble itself.
Okay, wait, I think I found something. 1 second.
It's kind of like a circular CD in a way.
So he is able to then?
Yeah.
All right, cool. He is going to do his best to catalog that little data footprint he was able to find. So that way, later on, he could potentially recognize if he sees the person it belongs to.
I'll go ahead and mark that down as part of your memory, being able to remember the data signature that is on the marble at the moment.
Cool, gotcha. And upon that being completed, he's going to very carefully hand it back to Han.
See Han place it back, and it kind of looks around to make sure no one's watching, and then he plops the marble back inside of his shell, it seeming almost like it snaps into place in a very, very careful manner.
Okay, so yeah, I was actually able to, it was actually like super faint and really hard to tell, but I was able to look close enough and I was able to find it. But also that thing is actually really cool.
He kind of looks a little bit shy as he kind of moves his head back into his shell a little bit. Oh, well, thank you. It's all of us Kamimon get it whenever we grow up to a certain age where we evolve to, well, who we are now, and it's given to us by our parents, and we use it, and they say it grows big and strong, and they say it's kind of like a emergency battery sometimes. We store things in it, and we store our data in it, and then if we ever need to, we can extract from it, and it gain, well, needed power every now and then. It's kind of like a little battery for us, you know?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. And now I'm trying to think about. Do you know how rare they are? Like, is it something that like there's only barely enough to give out, or is it just more of like a specialized thing that doesn't really get spread around much?
Kind of looks. It's forbidden among our culture to ever do anything outside of it. Well, it kind of looks. It's a very rare kind of thing within our culture. We would never ever give it out to anyone else or sell it to anyone else unless you came on yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, is it considered a bad idea to use at least some of its principles in other things? I don't want to be like, I don't want to. I don't want you to like break your culture or anything, but I think there's actually some really neat, interesting implications for it in terms of data storage.
Oh, he kind of looks. If you're gonna go away, I can try seeing if I can't at least replicate something with it. I studied a little bit about it myself. I've always been really interested in it. I can see if I can try with enough help with and kind of looks over at Keiga. Maybe with the help of the data anomaly hunters, I can maybe find a way to replicate it in at least a mimicry way, if anything.
Yeah.
Do you think
Oh,
that'd be really useful?
yeah. Oh, actually, another interesting thing that might be possible with it, because that it can really have a lot of data in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so this is both dangerous, but also could potentially help a lot, actually, especially if it was kept, at least fairly under wraps. What if, effectively you were able to make something similar that could have a data imprint of members of the DAH on it, and that way, in case there's ever an accident or they got glitched or something, or they got really hurt, they'd effectively have one in their medical files for doctors to look at in order to see what was there before and what's wrong.
Okay, he kind of looks a little bit very wide-eyed at you. I usually we're not really much of scientists. I was always kind of made fun of for being kind of I don't want to say smart one. I don't want to sound too prideful, but being the kind of the researchy one of my group. That's why I came here to town. If I could find a way to use my culture to help people, it would actually probably be really cool. And then people would be able to have this for themselves too.
Yeah, this is
I could
this is why
definitely.
I love learning about people and their cultures and the different things that they know, because you never know when something like that is potentially really helpful towards a lot of people. So it's really helpful trying to learn as much as possible about people and the things that they like and know, because a lot of times it'll actually have implications elsewhere.
Yeah, it looks. Perfect. Let me write this down, and I'll go ahead and get on researching on that. If you see my friend, please make sure he's okay.
I'll try my best in case I see him. If I do see him, I know what his. I'm just gonna say like a data print of him looks like. I know what his data looks like, and so if I see him, I'll be able to recognize him. And
Perfect.
I
That'd be
promise
really
that if I
great.
find him, if I'm in the area, I'll definitely look. And if I'm not, I'll keep a watch out anyways in case I see him. After all, it might not be too out of character that they had to run somewhere else in order to try and escape the forest guardian or something.
Oh yeah.
That seems
Also, he kind of. Oh yeah. His name's also Naoki.
Naoki. Okay, got it.
Naoki. Don't forget it.
I didn't forget your name.
See him smile with that. He'll go back to typing on the computer, writing in notes and things about what you said, and he'll begin to essentially start a analysis of his own on what you mentioned and see what he can essentially write down about that.
Yeah.
The
Riv
irony.
internally just being like, I really hope I don't have like, you know, some sort of like absolutely awful major glitch and I can't get my my digipad away from me in time because I really don't want to forget these names. He doesn't want to be mean to his new friend and their friend.
They can't mind being
irony
very
of that
sensitive. They seem very sensitive about people forgetting their names. But yeah, you would be able to do that. Where would you like to go after, just for posterity's sake?
Probably just seeing if he can help out with whatever Kiga's doing, because Kiga's time is important. So if he's able to help out with that in any way, hey, might as well.
I would say that you'd be able to study the reports. You can see what it looks to be, and I'll say you spend the next few hours with Kiga going over mission reports, testimonials, witnesses, essentially stuff that involves the essentially the various regions and what kind of stuff has been going on over there. So you begin
Alright.
to learn a little bit more about the world and environment.
Does this count as like something that be sufficiently book related?
Yes, this would be
Oh.
very much. Essentially, it's a categorizing a lot of handwriting, a lot of difficult handwriting from Digimon who don't really learn how to write in the first place. So
Yeah. Okay. In
the-
that case, I'm just gonna count it as Riv assisting Kiga and go ahead and
Yeah.
take 4 for that assistance, because 3 in academics plus 1 specialty.
let's see what they got. We won't talk about what they got.
Alright, this is either gonna be really good or really bad.
I'll post in chat what they got for
Ah.
you helping them.
Yeah. You know what? He's gonna make a day of this. Go ahead and take another one of Riv's. Take Riv's remaining willpower. Just re-roll that for Kiga.
Just the amount of just the failure at a 13 dice.
Riv wants to help Kiga. She's like the head assistant for the Guardian. The kid. Fucking Kiga, please! I need your time to be spent doing all this important stuff.
Okay, they're looking a little bit better on the second go.
Nice, nice. All right.
One,
Riv's making a
two,
good
four,
impression, I
five,
guess.
six,
Let's
seven,
go.
8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they got an 11 on the next one, so...
Yay! Riv makes a good impression and helped Kiga. Let's go.
Nice.
After spending that last willpower...
Look. He could make a day of this. He's just gonna spend like all day doing this.
Yeah.
Just move on.
And
He's
then,
done.
we'll go... Asher, are you ready?
Oh yeah, I've been back. Like I said, it was just a minute.
Oh, you're good. Asher and Folger, Asher specifically, you were guiding Folger to your back to your humble abode, where Folger mentions that he would
How
like
dare
to...
you?
Is it not humble?
The glorious temple in which Asher, god of death, lives.
Exactly.
Location
Really?
of soon to be thrown.
I am adding furniture to the game, so there is specifically a 3-byte throne that you can actually get in town now.
Well, Asher's broke
Yes,
getting
the
stuff for
Asher.
everybody, but you know.
Yes, the Asher tax item.
But yeah, I'll say you make it back to town, and I'll say you'll be able to make it back to your home, but I'll let you guys continue from there.
Asher's gonna, unlock the door, go on in. So, this is the couch where Jay sleeps. That's the kitchen area over there. And this is my throne room. As he leads the way into the one actual room of the apartment. House, whatever it is.
Volker will nervously head inside.
His room has a fort made with books and blankets and pillows.
How clean is your home?
I'll leave the outside part to Jace, but Asher's room is a cluttered, yeah, it's a clutter.
The rest of the house is kept fairly clean.
Is
Yeah.
Jace just sleeping on a hoard of clothes?
No, Jay sleeps on the couch. It's a one-bedroom house. There's a reason why the rest of the house is clean and not Asher's bedroom. Asher's bedroom's his place.
Oh,
Asher has an organized chaos. He knows where everything is. Nobody else is ever going to be able to find anything in that mess, but he knows where every single thing is. It's kind of how I live. Except I do have a slightly more clean to my area, but yeah, it's an organized chaos. I have had roommates before that tried to do the nice thing and cleaned up for me, and I'm like, no, do not touch my organization. I know it makes no sense to anybody else, but it makes sense to me. Anyways, back in character, Asher's going to kind of just go into his room, gesture for Fulgur to follow, and well, he doesn't have a throne yet, but he does at least have a very comfy bed. He's gonna go sit on it and pat next to him for Fulgur.
Fulgur will head in.
The bed is behind the fort of books and such.
Fulgur will try and navigate through.
So, what did you want to talk about?
Well, you said my data was leaking out before you patched it.
Yeah?
So, before my core got put in there, I backed up all my memories onto it. I want to make sure everything's there.
I see. I mean, it was leaking out, so I can't really do a whole lot if it actually did, unfortunately, leak. But I can try and see what I can see.
That would be nice.
Alright, I suppose it's time for defrag refrag. Well, you know the drill. This is gonna feel weird. Don't look at yourself.
Yeah. And Fulgur will not look at himself during this.
If I can keep track of my tabs.
Be me.
that is some intense dice rolling.
It is! I'm debating if I want a
Okay.
body boost.
Go ahead and decide.
But at the same time, I could wind up with a 1 on that.
Good. It is a chance. It's positive EV, but it's still variance.
Got a 1 in 10 chance.
Well, technically speaking, it's 3 out of 30.
Never tell me the odds.
Actually, no. Well, actually, I'm gonna be pedantic about this.
Did you say 3 in 30 instead of 1 in 10?
Yeah, but I'm actually
Oh.
gonna be pedantic about this now and go. Technically speaking, it's actually a 20. 20? Doing the math in my head, 27.1% chance. Pick up a 1.
My mic's acting weird all of a sudden for some reason. Oh, I know why. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, 27.1. 27.1% chance to roll a 1 if you roll 3 dice.
Okay.
Well, either way, this
as
is
you're able-
important things, so there you go.
Yeah. As you essentially begin to kind of strip Folger's data from like essentially their body and kind of piecing it together and at least in the way essentially bring it down enough to research it and kind of see what's going on, you do once again kind of deep dive inside as your mind and your data itself essentially seems to almost be grasping out as it's looking for that data. And you find yourself almost like a mental image more than a physical image as you kind of see this, what looks to be this relic, this dice almost looking relic itself that seems to be holding, as you're now able to get a clearer picture of it. It looks like this, essentially this 10-sided looking dice is essentially holding these two essentially cores together, but the cores inside the dice themselves are separated, and they're separated in a way that is not interacting with each other, though there does seem to be, as you're kind of almost looking at this through a essentially like almost like a third eye lens, you're essentially kind of feeling around, and as you're putting this mental image together, you see that the data leaks
At the
seem to
data
have mostly-
leaks.
Yeah, sorry, that my mic's bad. My mic is acting really weird. But essentially, the data that's where's my you start to see it as it begins to leave, but the essentially this dies, but it seems like it's not doing as much as you remember last time. You're not sure if it's because this switch has happened not too long ago, so it's kind of calming down now. But you do get a sense of data that does seem to flow connected between them. The connection does seem stronger than it did last time, so that is essentially good. It looks like the memories are essentially and the feelings seem to essentially be kind of cohabiting. The data leak itself seems to be mostly calming down. There does seem to be some loss as you're looking. It's almost like looking at like a woven fabric, but seeing holes within that fabric itself. You, especially with that roll, you begin to try to essentially repair those holes to the best you can as you're trying to study it. And as you do, Folger, you begin to, as Asher's doing this, you begin to start feeling this intense amount of almost emotions that that Arcus would be feeling. And as essentially Asher is prodding in, you start to feel almost like it's almost this dissociation between yourself, and it's almost like you're almost like this in this middle way ground between Arcus and Folger. As Asher is beginning to explore and prod this, you even as you're essentially doing this, Asher, you yourself actually vaguely, very faintly begin to hear even the voice of Arcus itself, though it is very, very faint. It's like it's trying to call out to the other side between these connections as you're trying to make these connections between themselves. And Folger, you, for once, for the first time since all of this has happened, begin to hear the very, very faintest sounds of Arcus's voice, as if they're trying to reach out to you in a way. What would Arcus be trying to say is they would have that familiarity with Asher after going on at least a small adventure with them, so they're fancy feeling that comfort. What would, if Arcus had a chance to speak to Fulgur in any way, what would they probably say?
I mean, I was just going for scanning to see if he had missing memories, but I'm okay with the rest of this as well. But
It was a very high roll, so it's kind of like a little bit of medicine added in there.
I suppose that's fair. I mean, Asher's not one to leave something broken if he can fix it.
I guess the main thing is, Arcus's glitch. In this scenario.
So what would, if Arcus had, like, let's say just a few sentences to say to Fulgur after realizing that there was kind of like feeling that connection well up? What if there was just a few sentences Arcus could say to Fulgur? What would it be?
Huh? Who? What? Why do I feel like I'm two? Why do I feel like I'm two people? Hello?
The voice begins to dim a little bit after that, but you feel that you're able to respond, though only very briefly.
Fulgur is definitely surprised by this. Because he'd been trying for like the past couple months.
Plant a seed of thought in Arcus's head before you lose connection again.
Hmm. Looker also knows about what Arcus's glitch is, so he has to actually think for a second. Friend. We're friends.
As you say these words out to them, you feel that connection beginning to essentially fade a little bit. Asher, you yourself feeling, it's not exactly you yourself feeling, it's more like the feelings of what is going on is essentially being kind of almost portrayed to you in a way that is very obvious and apparent. It's like I said, less so what you feel, but you can feel the feelings that are being essentially had between them. That sense of confusion, also loss, and that almost that sadness that comes with that memory. And you feel essentially what especially Fulgur especially is feeling. But as you begin to essentially do your data, essentially analysis with them and patch up that connection, you find your connection beginning to fade a little bit as the data itself essentially begins to essentially fight back as you're trying to get a hold of what's inside. And your analysis does come to a very decent conclusion of essentially there being very deep internal data issues, but you feel at the moment this is about the best you can do as your consciousness itself begins to wash back over fully to your own, and you feel a little bit more of a sense of exhaustion more than you usually would in this situation. There was a lot of exerted effort in this case.
Fair enough. What about the original thing I was going in there for?
In terms of like the data leak and stuff.
Yeah, are Fulgur's memories intact?
It looks like the memories themselves, it seems like the connections are severed. It doesn't seem like the memories are gone completely. It just seems like the connections necessary to essentially have those memories back just seem to be severed deeply within them. It's essentially like trying to play a guitar with the strings cut through the middle. It can still do what it needs to, but without repairing it, it's not going to make that connection yet.
I don't think you can play a guitar at all with the strings cut.
Exactly.
It can't
Not
do
very
anything it
successfully.
needs to.
Exactly.
You can
This is-
certainly try. You could just grab some and start trying to like banjo it.
Yeah.
That analogy hurt.
We're just
You
gonna
could certainly try.
we're just gonna air guitar with an actual guitar.
It's essentially what's trying to happen with Arcus's memories. Essentially, the chords are completely cut, and they're not able to. The strings themselves are completely severed. It's not that they're missing; it's just that they're not whole.
Oh, he was also talking about Fulgur's memories. Like, were there any like scattered around because of the leak?
I would say I'll leave that up to you, Folger. What do you think in terms of this? I know you have an idea for your character, anyways.
Maybe some very loose fragments, but nothing like important. You feel there. It's still bad that there's like little bits of fragments, but you don't feel like they contain essential things.
Okay. Well, while I was in there, it looked like I managed to get some other stuff patched up, but it doesn't look like anything essential is missing, just some random things.
That's Fulgur.
Like, it looks
Looks
like
like
you might
he's
have
crying a
lost
bit.
how to use the toilet. We might need to do some potty training for you.
Fulgur is basically just looking at Asher with that same look he had when he was looking into the operation.
Also, you don't know how to do taxes anymore, but that's not a big deal. Nobody knows how to do those anyways.
Jace sneezes.
Oh no, Ido! I did not expect. Oh God, I am sorry, Gimund.
This, this is
Fair.
this is what you get for choosing deliberately embarrassing improv.
I know, right?
Oh no.
I'd feel bad for you, Gimund, but you know.
I'll spare you for now.
But it's cute when the synth blushes. He gets all warm and then he warms up my bed for me.
Yeah. Like I said, in Folgo, you do recall, like I said, you do still have that, even though it was faint, it was very much in your head, those, essentially, that kind of, even though brief conversation with Arcus, you do at least get a sense of relief that they do seem at least well in there. You did get a sense of they are at least bodily whole. But like I said, there is that sense of kind of like that sense where, someone close to you doesn't remember you, but you feel a little bit more confident as they did seem to contemplate after you called them, essentially calling them friend. You did sense a spark of essentially contemplation deep within you as you begin to, as you kind of see them kind of pondering that before they faded. You feel like your words were at least reached to them, and while essentially they're going to be sleeping inside, they at least have something to ponder on while you mention it. There's a certain sense of relief that comes with that.
Volker is actually starting to tear up.
Did I say something wrong? I mean, the potty training is easy. I can help you learn that right now if you want. Asher oblivious to the conversation that was had.
Oh no.
He doesn't have mind reading or anything. He just saw some holes and fixed them.
Yeah, and then it's like one side and there's the other.
And so you can slowly try to make, with very much successes, you can slowly try to kind of repair that a little bit. But yeah, that was essentially the most minor possible kind of like patchwork possible right now.
I'm not
You
so
made a
sure
small
that
connection.
was minor to him. Considering he's crying.
I think he was talking about the damage that you repaired was the most minor
Oh.
possible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, only able to essentially repair a connection long enough for a few sentences there. But yes, Folger seems very sad boy.
Yeah, I wonder why.
You healed them. Why are they
Folger?
crying?
Is something hurting? Did I do something?
Oh. He
You are gonna need to speak up.
He came.
Oh gosh.
That is where you cut off.
Oh no.
He came.
So, Gimund, do we have to have a discussion?
I mean, it was where you cut off at.
Would you like to follow up with that?
Yep.
I mean, I suppose one brother is inside the other.
Oh no.
Oh, come on, guys.
Oh no.
I will just
Don't make
close
me
down
bring
that I'm
Jace into
occupied with
this.
other projects right now. So
Look, all I'm gonna say is y'all better be careful, or the Tumblr people will start to show up or something.
Oh no, please, let's move on.
He became aware.
Who? Wait, Arcus was able to be aware?
He slowly nods. It wasn't obvious. I know it can't be obvious. But this is... I've tried for a couple months now. And Folger is gonna reach into his bag and he's gonna pull out basically 5 notes and hand them to Asher.
Asher is going to blink and read the one of them.
What it basically is Folger trying to tell Arcus about him.
He's gonna close it and not look at the other ones. So I'm going to guess you'd like me to give these to Arcus when he comes back out?
Well, that one was the first one. This one. And then he's gonna hand you the third one.
He will read that one.
This one has some underlings. Like, that, Folger probably made. On spots that... There's one thing you definitely notice about this one compared to the first one. It seems to be a lot more vague. And the underlined parts definitely aren't to the magnitude of what Folger is referring to now. But you get the feeling these notes are sort of how Folger was sort of aware of Arcus's real glitch.
So it's detailing the actual glitch going on.
More so, it's still Folger trying to get Arcus to remember, but it's more vague, and the underlined parts seem to be maybe ones that actually got through to Arcus. Like an example of maybe teammate, traveling companion.
So what Folger sent along to Arcus? I'm I'm confused,
Okay. How do I word this?
I think what we just say is you're essentially trying to essentially make connections for Arcus, knowing that he can't really seem to make the connections themselves, and since you aren't able to help him whenever you are essentially asleep within them, you have to do whatever you can to essentially make those connections through notes, as no one else has been able to essentially be with you to help essentially bridge the gap between you two.
Yeah, that.
Okay, so is this all meant to be given to Arcus? Or do you want me to help him understand these things? Or both?
Probably both. This is the first time that I've been able to speak with him like this. It's nice. Folker gives a slight smile, but also a sad smile.
I'll make sure that these get to Arcus.
Yeah. Also, thank you.
I mean, don't thank me yet. You haven't seen the bill.
Bill?
Yep. Doctors are expensive, you know? And I'm a specialist.
How much?
Asher's going to take one of the notes, and on the back of it, he's going to write down something, and then hand it over. It says one hug.
Okay.
It also seems like you could
Oh.
use it, so...
Sure.
He's leaning back and kind of spreading his forelegs.
This is actually adorable.
Folker's
really
gonna...
is.
Never say that to
nervous.
Asher. He will deny it.
I know.
Folker's gonna nervously, lean into it.
Asher is going to give Folger a very big hug. And very carefully pat his back. You know, quills and all, but you can pat a, hedgehog. You just have to do it with the quills.
Yeah.
But also, the real evil plot here is the fact that he knows that Folger is very, scared of, social anything. So this is particularly evil to do to Fulgur. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
very evil.
By the way, just because I think this is the perfect time to mention it for Fulgur's, distaste, Riv has also been thinking very hard about how to help Fulgur, and he does have ideas now that he is awake again.
Hooray!
Which
Riv
means
is
that
awake.
not only does he get to go through this, he gets to go through it again.
Well,
Because
Fulgur,
Riv's gonna try and help.
Remember when I told you not to run away from the party? About that. Have fun.
Oh no.
Well, the rest of the party, it's a party. Riv, it's school.
Also, I will say, you all essentially, because especially with how much Astra and everyone's done, I will say this is getting close enough to nighttime. In world where Jace, you would be essentially making your way back home at this point. Essentially you've collected your earnings and you are en route to home.
Fancy.
There's no
Been
use
a
singing to people too
holiday
drunk to
now.
listen.
Look, drunk people give more money. Ask me how I know.
Drunk
Bars
people
you
have no
go
taste, they're
to-
busy being drunk.
The bars you go to have either passed out or about to be passed out, so you realize it's that time of the night where it's the people are essentially in their own heads at this point, so you'd be making your way home.
Hi, Fulgur. So, I am going to keep you overnight for observation. How does spaghetti and meatball sound?
It's meatballs.
Oh, you're going to love them. They're the best part. I suppose it's more meatballs than spaghetti, but at least the way I make them. Jace is a little stingy.
Look, they
Yes.
taste better when you add bread.
IRL, me and Asher would be feuding because I specifically hate meatballs in spaghetti because I don't like it with spaghetti sauce.
I will
Fair.
agree with you on that. It is better with like Alfredo sauce or such, or even just by themselves.
Yeah, I'll eat them by themselves. I just don't like it with the pasta sauce. No.
Oh, Jace, give me 3 D10s.
Fulgur, you will enjoy the ranch on rice, or else.
Ranch and rice is delicious.
8.
Yes, yes,
it looks
is.
like on your way home, the one of the bars does give you a to-go meal for home. You've been given cabbage pie. Essentially, it's like a quiche, but with cabbage instead.
Interesting.
Jace blinks, shrugs. It'll make good breakfast. We can cook it with eggs on top tomorrow.
Ah, yes, the breakfast that Asher won't eat.
I'm not telling him there's no cabbage in there. This is like everything else that I serve. If I want him to eat something, I just don't tell him it's in there and cover the color.
Puts
I
food
like to
dye
let
in
you
it.
know this list of like 30 food items. That is one of the only items on this entire list that has a single thing green in it. I'm pretty sure it's the only thing on this entire food dish list I made that actually is green.
See, all I need to do is just take a little beet juice and pour it on top of the cabbage. It'll all turn red and it'll be fine.
Well, no, because beets are gross.
I'm just using it for coloration, though.
It's dying.
And beets are delicious.
I have an issue with beets, not because beets themselves, but because when I had my tonsils removed, my mom decided, hey, you can't eat very solid food, so let's all go to a steak place. There's a salad bar for you.
Just salad bar.
Wow.
So, you know, everybody else is having burgers and steaks and stuff, and I'm sitting there with cottage cheese and what I thought was cranberry sauce. So I got a whole bunch of it. Then I discovered, no, this is not cranberry sauce. And of course, my stepdad's one of those farmer people that are like, you will finish everything on your plate. So I had half a plate of just beets and yeah.
Traumatic.
Yeah.
You're able to pick up beet juice from the bar. But I'll say, do you have Fulgur help? Or do you try to convince Fulgur to help you cook, or are you gonna let them sit there and do nothing?
He will welcome Fulgur helping, but he does not expect it. This is one of those, he's doing this as a treat for, you know, Jace when he gets home, and, you know, he and Fulgur also need to eat.
What does Fulgur do?
He's probably going to be curious, but the moment Asher probably turns on, like, starts boiling water from like a fire or something, Fulgur's gonna be staying the heck away from the fire.
Cooking to the ice, did you?
Yeah, I kind of expected as much. And of course, Asher is also going to make garlic bread, because you cannot have spaghetti and meatballs without garlic bread. Garlic bread is the actual main dish. Most people call it a side dish, but it's the actual main dish.
Especially in this household.
Garlic bread is only 2 bits each. It is actually
y'all are making
very
me
nice.
so hungry right now.
Look at the food list.
Well, I am
Look at this
hoping
food-
that we
Oh.
have the ingredients in the house, because Asher is broke.
You do. I would say that's a basic. Well, you already have bread. You technically have an infinite source of bread that you know of at the moment.
Actually, Asher does still not know about that.
Really? I think Asher was in the room when Haboku brought that up.
Was he?
It was during,
Doesn't mean
it was during the surgery, I think.
might have been
Well,
a
but-
stressful time to bring up about bread baskets.
I know it was brought up out of character, but I don't think anybody brought it up in character.
Didn't they give Jace like a hard breadstick to like as a bit for the mouth?
No, it was brought up to Jace at one point in time, but it was in passing just before the surgery, so
I was about
Yeah,
to say,
I'm
I
pretty
know Jace got told, but I don't think Asher has.
I
no.
will say that the bread basket is in your room, and most. Or do you keep it in the kitchen, or do you
It's
keep
in the
it
kitchen.
in the? Yeah,
Oh.
you would have noticed by now. Actually, you see the infinitely producing bread basket.
Oh, I
Oh,
assumed
nice
that,
one.
you know, Jace would have kept that with him, but hey, if he sees bread sitting there on the counter, well, there you go. Base for the garlic bread.
You see a wide assortment of various breads that you have never seen before. But some of them are familiar, but definitely some of them are very estranged. You have no idea where Jace got this.
I mean, he doesn't care that much. He's just gonna take some of the bread and make garlic bread.
Jace, you find yourself outside your home. You do hear some clinking and clanking on the inside, though nothing too rambunctious on the inside.
Yeah, no, I'll just unlock the door and go in as normal.
basically.
Yeah,
You
sure,
see
I'm home.
You see Folger sitting on your couch, kind of staring in.
Folker's probably peeking into the kitchen, and that when he hears the door open, he's probably gonna be startled and run off somewhere.
You're in a one-bedroom apartment. I don't think you have options of running off very well.
Just because he doesn't
I-
have a doesn't mean he'll not try.
Yeah, he's probably just gonna run to what he thinks is a hiding spot.
So he locks
then
himself in the
peek over.
bathroom or the closet. Got it.
Jace, you quickly see what looks to be a very scared porcupine running in your house.
Hi, Folger. Closes door, locks it, sets down guitars, walks in the kitchen. I'm assuming that was Folger that just went running, right, Asher?
Probably. It is his MO.
Alright. Ooh, garlic bread.
Not yet.
I know. Slides something into the fridge, goes and starts to help cook. He didn't put
Folker's
any bread in the
peeking.
meatballs.
One moment, everyone. Raptor has returned home. Be
Ah,
right
yes.
back.
I would say, do you go check on Folger, Jace?
He'll come out when he wants. I know he's somewhere in the house.
You find somewhere. What would be? Let's see. There's what would
Well,
probably be
there's-
the best.
There's Asher's room. There's the closet in Asher's room. There's the hallway closet. There's like a twin bed mattress stuffed in that one. There's the bathroom. That's about it. That's all you get to choose. Living
Wanna
room,
roll a
kitchen, dinette.
1d4?
Is Arcus a
You wanna-
window person?
One of you guys is gonna take the window one of these days. Just you wait. I'm gonna convince you guys to take the window route.
If you break my window,
Folker's
Folger, give-
probably. Oh, what?
Give me. Do you want to leave it a random chance to see where you end up in first?
Yeah.
Go and give me a 1d4. Let's see. I think the first thing you listed, Jace, was I think Asher's closet.
Asher's room, which has a closet.
You
I
make your
don't think
way.
there's room
Asher's
in that
room-
closet. But Asher's room.
Folger, you find yourself in a new territory you've never been in. The throne of evil itself, the room of essentially grand plans and schemes. As you essentially make your way into this room, realizing that you do recognize that it was Jace that came in. As Asher seems to be cooking food, as you begin to explore Asher's room in the sense of looking for a best place to hide, you find that it's a very cramped room, but there isn't really too much to essentially get away in here.
Well, when he realizes it's Jace, he's just gonna slightly open the door and just
I am back.
watch
Welcome
watch till they're done with whatever they're making.
You see a small eye peek through a sliver of a door of Asher's room.
Yep, we're cooking. It's fine.
Which, holy crap, I got a lot of successes on that.
Indeed.
I know, right? I was looking at it, I'm like, God dang.
We're getting all the good rolls now, so when we get rolls that actually matter, or we'll die because of it.
True.
You have cooked the best like garlic bread and meatballs. Like the toast is perfectly like just slightly charred on the outside, but with like the middle perfectly that softer crunch that lets you bite into it without hurting any of the roof of your mouth. You also have the meatballs themselves, which you through practice have made the perfect cylindrical meatballs. with only just a little bit of various meat, but it seems like it's almost one of your best showmanships yet. The noodles are perfectly al dente, and they did not get overly starchy in the pot. You feel a sense of pride at your cooking more so than regular. It feels like cooking for friends made it that much better. That is a dang good cooking roll.
All right, dinner served. And he's gonna dish it out. Of course, making sure that the pasta and the sauce is mixed together, because don't want the pasta sticking to each other.
You coming, Fulgur, or not?
Fulker's gonna nervously come out.
Fulgur's gonna get picked up and set into a chair at the table. We eat the dinner table in this house when guests are over, because we totally do that. Jace looks guilty. Make sure a plate is put in front of him first. Pick up Asher, set him in a chair.
But I have new books to read.
Eat first.
Starts gobbling.
Well, come on, how often do we sit at the same table and eat dinner together?
Okay,
Usually they're
fair.
working.
And before Fulker starts eating, he's gonna he's gonna try and use his frigid impulse to sort of cool down the food at a very low power.
Go and roll a power roll to see how effective it is.
He doesn't want it.
Gets all tens. Winds up with
I will say
Ice cube.
you can increase the difficulty yourself by making it an 8 instead of a 7 for success. We'll say it's a difficult to 8 instead for power.
I am really hoping one of these days that using this formula is going to result in just 10 after 10 after 10 after 10 after 10 after 10 after 10.
Let's see if Olga can pass off him trying to not be too cold and being just cold enough. Let's see the power roll.
And then I realized that I could actually adjust the formula to make that happen, just to see what would happen. But then it would probably cause
Okay,
us to have to
3.
restart the server.
I will say 2 10s, a 10 into a 10.
Very nice.
I would say you made the just basically slightly below average roll, which is good in this situation, as you're able to cool it to a soft chill. Not enough to form ice crystals, and especially not enough to cool anyone else's meal. You're able to isolate it enough to your own plate.
And then he's gonna start eating.
So what brought you all the way out here, Fulgur?
He looks like he's thinking for a moment. Integrity checking.
He wanted a medical checkup.
Oh. Is he staying the night?
Yep, keeping him overnight for observation.
Okay, there's a bed inside the closet back there. It's not much space, but it's the only other bed we have in the house.
Oh, I was going to give him the best bed in the house.
Which one was that?
Well, you.
You're gonna have him sleep on me?
Asher nods.
Relegated being a bed again.
I can use the mattress.
Fine. Oh, Jace, I got some, I got a tent and some other survival stuff. Also, I got some blankets on their way.
Oh, how much do I owe you?
Blinks.
Oh, buddy. Pulls out his money. See, how much does he have right now?
Something you haven't spent much, you should technically, actually, yeah. You would also have grabbed your pouch. You realized that there was you realized that there would be 34 bytes, if I'm not mistaken, 34 bytes in the pouch itself, plus the extra few that you earned. So I would say you're about 35 bytes right now, plus whatever you didn't spend from the original 20.
I got a track, Zerda.
Okay.
I give you I give you 19 bytes. I just slide it across the table.
Asher pushes it back.
The war has begun.
Buddy. Let other people pay for things.
But I got it.
But what about things for yourself?
I mean, I'm gonna enjoy the tent too. And one of the blankets.
You bought blankets for everybody?
And pillows.
Pushes the money back over. Buddy, take some of my money. I'm not going to use it.
But what if you need something?
I've got what I need. The only thing I was going to use the money on was groceries for the house. And then... I don't know.
Oh, right, that's a fair point. He pushes it back. There's my share of the groceries.
Pushes it back. Buddy, I don't even need part of this for groceries. It's going to be like 5 bytes max.
He pushes it back. Then it's for my rent.
You... This is going to go on for a while.
Like I said, the war has begun.
Can Fulgur, is Asher's, like, pack nearby?
It's probably by the door.
And how much money did Jace put on the table?
19.
Cool. Fulgur's gonna try and, while Jace is distracting Asher, Fulgur's gonna sneak up to the bag and try and slide 19 bytes into it.
Fine.
Everyone's trying to be generous to Asher.
This is my rent. Well, here's your allowance then. This is going to go on for a very long time.
To be fair, Asher did spend all of the money almost immediately upon receipt.
Pulling stuff for everybody else.
Exactly why I'm trying to give you money.
And all of his starting money on freaking the arm and...
Yeah, who actually does the grocery shopping between you two? Because as far as I know, Asher's been doing a lot of the cooking so far. Who actually does the groceries between you two?
Jace. Jace is the only one that goes out and works usually. He's usually left Asher home to study and be a teenager. And now a young adult.
Trying to imagine Asher going to a grocery store.
Yeah, there would not be a single thing green in that cart. If the box is green, he would pass on it.
This is why you don't go grocery shopping, and this is why I have to change the boxing on so many things, and this is also why I have to food coloring so many dang things.
Half the grocery budget is just on food dye.
would die.
Thankfully enough, food coloring's dirt cheap, but
Yeah.
There are some very
It-
beautiful
it-
coloring dyes in the world.
it adds up.
Blueberries. We got beets.
well, a little thing of food coloring, you don't need to use that much food coloring when you use it, so
True.
I just
Mostly getting
imagine
red.
Jace has a because they always come in packs, you know. So Jace just has a box full of green food coloring dye that he's never going to use.
no, I use it on things that I don't want Asher to eat. So like the cookies I make myself and stuff, when I decide to make myself nice cookies.
Fair, fair.
Or if I don't want him
I-
eating my bread, I dye it green.
I imagine Jace has like it's more like a bandolier of like dyes. It's just kind of like it's sort of like bandolier instead of bullets. It's just like a bandolier of different dyes.
Look, I've been trying to break him of the green habit for a while. I gave up a long time ago and just started dyeing or using food coloring. After the war is over, which is probably going to just end with Jace putting money in your bag.
I don't know. Is Fulgur just going to end it by taking it himself?
That Fulgur's gonna come back after
Yep.
putting 19 of his bites in Asher's bag.
You want to try nervously doing a subterfuge for this?
Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, you are in their home, of course. So
I'm gonna make it easier and say that Asher's facing away from the door.
100%. It's more so the amount of noise that he's gonna be probably trying to end up, depending on how bad it is.
Jace might have a chance to see. Asher might have a chance to hear. So I'll go ahead and roll then.
Let's. Ooh. Wow, you're Why is Fulgur so good at subterfuge? What are you doing over there? What sneaky things is Fulgur up to? Wow, I did not realize he had that high subterfuge.
Yeah, but Jace always gets good perception rolls, specifically when one of the younger people around him are trying to do something sneaky.
Yep.
They have.
He's using
instincts.
instinct. It's his parental instinct.
A lentil.
Parental?
Paternal.
His maternal instinct. No.
Also,
Jace,
Merle,
you would-
it's not that green things are ew. It's that they are poison.
No.
Oh, like Ido said.
I think
Yeah,
I
you-
will figure those sixes. Jace will still see, but
But Asher won't.
yeah. Because the intent was to at least let Jace more see it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Jace, you're able to spot a very generous gift giving Fulgur depositing money into Asher's bag while you guys are essentially talking to each other. You kind of side eye him a little bit.
I'll wait until Fulgur's sitting back down again, and then Jace will just be like, fine. And then leave the money on the table. I'm getting more garlic bread.
I made plenty. Yes, evil victory.
Jace just standing in the kitchen munching on garlic bread.
With a smirk on his face, I imagine.
No, he's smarter than that.
Fair.
He's gonna leave those 19 coins on the table, though.
With that, you begin to. yeah, you said you'd be able to get the food well ate. Haboku and Riv and Kotora, you all would return to your rooms as well, essentially completing your day's activity. I will say Kiga is especially appreciative of what you do, Riv, and they'll even slide you an extra bite for just the assistance in the lab. And they say that you can always earn some extra downtime if you can help them with some of their work, as they were impressed with your ability to essentially turn a botch into a grand success.
He doesn't look enthused about accepting the money, but he also figures that he's just gonna do this. Okay, so normally I think I'd probably like try give this back to you, but don't you quite literally give me my pay anyway? I'm pretty sure you would just find a way to give this to me.
I do personally balance the budgets of everyone inside the Data Anomaly Hunters. Kino's more of a guardian. I'm more of the one who manages the guardian of finances in a way, I guess you could call it. She gives you a sly smirk.
Okay, so like I said, I would just probably find it in my next pay or something.
Precisely. You've done great work today. Like I said, any bit helps. Also, hopefully you get to learn a little bit more about the region and what we're exactly doing here. You sound like you might have the makings of a good researcher one day.
I've been a field researcher for a while now.
It kind of looks. That you have. That you have. Huh. Then you might. It kind of looks. Well, I don't really think you. She looks over some of the group. I definitely think the field researcher might be better for you. You wouldn't want to be stuck in a building all day, but if you are in town, you're always appreciative to take up a part time, at least with me, anyways. In just a few hours, you've definitely proven enough of your worth. Now you go on and get to bed. It's late, and I don't want to keep you. You have a few days of relaxation here. Try not to spend it all working.
He's just gonna give her a wave and leave. He would fight it more, but she quite literally pays him his salary. So
They are your boss.
literally, she pays his salary. So he is
Yeah,
not winning this fight.
They are literally your boss.
She literally writes. She literally gives the payment. Like, what is he gonna do?
Exactly. And then I'll say that Haboku and everyone, you essentially get to the. I'd say you would eventually all at least get to the cafeteria, as they do have the free food that is mentioned of the first night. So you would be able to have access to the various buffets of different biomed food. So you should be able to have your meal. And I would say Rev and Haboku and Koto, you would all would essentially reach the cafeteria at the same time, finding yourself a close company when it comes to dinner plans. Realizing that both Asher, Jace, and now Folger is also gone as well. You realize you're down one if you're pairing of four.
Oh, originally, now Volgar had slept on the roof.
That is
Yeah.
fair. You're
Yeah.
back to your original
Hey, but at least he was at least he was nearby though. We has any Kotra would at some point when we're all convened together, he would ask, "Have any of you seen Fogger? I haven't seen him in a while today."
Not me. I was actually gonna try and look for him later because I had a couple ideas that I wanted to try, but I kind of got busy today because I was talking with Han and then got some interesting information from him about one of his friends, and then I ended up helping Keegan with paperwork a lot.
Ah, you had a busy day, huh? Well, that's good at least.
Yeah, I would have tried to refuse her paying me, but she kind of puts together our payments, so she just would have given it to me anyway.
Yeah, that's a losing battle.
I don't think I saw Volgar until he, I mean, after he left. He might steal.
Did he say
the-
where he was going?
I don't think Fulgur actually did say where he was going, did he?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
So what does Haboku say?
Haboku just shakes his head when asked if he says that.
Kotora is going to like tap his fingers, one of his fingers on the table. Well, this is annoying. Should we try and look for him, or should we just wait? Or should we just wait until tomorrow? It is kind of late.
Well, I mean, we're in town, so if we don't see him by tomorrow morning, we should probably look for him. We could probably also ask, Asher or Jace if they've seen him. They've probably been around town, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I haven't felt like something bad was gonna happen today, so maybe he's all right.
I hope he's all right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do hope that he is all right while going wherever he goes around the town. He is very shy and prone to getting scared if people come near him.
Yeah, which is kind of why I don't want to go looking for him immediately. I kind of don't want him to think that, like, we're just following him around constantly or something.
That's true. Okay, yeah, I guess we'll just wait for him in the morning. And if not, we'll look for him.
Yeah, I don't want to rush in and scare him again.
Neither do I. And I hope we're able to find some way to help to help those two out.
I have at least a couple ideas, not to fix the problem. I'll need to do a lot more research for that, actually. But, considering everything, I don't think they're the most tech savvy. So do you think Fulgur's ever tried, like, taking a video of himself to show Arcus later?
Likely not.
Because I
we don't-
kind of have a digipad. I was gonna offer that. But he's also shy, so he might be camera shy too. But he said that, well, Arcus can't remember him, so maybe if there's like proof.
Could be a good idea. Perhaps there wasn't much technology in the region that he was living at, that they were living at rather.
Yep.
I mean, even your data pad was a bit rare in our region.
Yeah, but even if it doesn't work right, it'll still be able to be like a little video diary for Arcus when we do manage to fix things, and he can see his brother trying. And I don't know if that'd make him sad or not, but it's probably something good to try, right?
Yeah, I think even if it makes sense, I think he'll appreciate being able to recall something if it does. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the whole situation is, but
Yeah, the thing I'm mostly just worried about is Fulgur's kind of shy, and I don't want to make him upset or something.
true. But I think if the intention is to help Fulgur get him to remember him, I think he'll be up for it. I mean, I'd be devastated if you couldn't remember me when you got your memory scrambled.
Oh yeah, every time that happens, I make sure to try and pay special attention to that.
Kotora nods, just smiling a little bit at that.
Smiling a little bit, but also Riv just being like, "Oh yeah, every time that happens, I try to make sure I don't forget you."
I mean, Kotora is aware that that it has happened more than once. He helps Riv try and recall stuff.
Yeah, no, it's just
that may just be that may just be a little bit a bit of a alarming thing for Haboku to hear if he connects those dots.
Here's a playful roll to see how that will go.
Insight time or perception or whatever.
Oh, I got booted.
Oh,
Oh no,
that's no good.
that's no good.
Here, I'll just get a
Apparently,
number of dice. Nice.
apparently, Fantasy Ground said no.
All right, mind, logic, academics, 2 dice. Nice. If anybody wants to roll that while fantasy ground is reloading for me.
How much?
2.
Oh,
Oh no!
okay.
Two.
I'll try and do that for you.
Let's
Two
go.
ones coming right up.
Ah.
Close
That is,
enough.
that is
Half right.
polarizing.
I mean,
So
if
close to a
you,
10.
I mean, if you want, you could solve that one.
Nah, it's perfectly in character. He just
Fair
blinks.
enough.
Thinks.
One of his eyes recognizes it, the other one don't. It cancels out.
The bros are being bros. There's no need to think more about this as potentially concerning thing.
Yeah, what about this could potentially even be concerning at all? Yeah.
Well, I suppose we should head back to the room now. Or were we in the room at the moment? At that moment?
We were in the mess hall thing.
Okay, no.
Mess hall, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, we suppose we should head back to the room then. It is pretty late.
Yeah, I've been sleeping a lot, but I'm still kind of tired. So
I can imagine. You will have needed your sleep regardless. But I'm glad that you're feeling better though.
yeah, I'll have to try that thing with Fulgur tomorrow, though,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then probably go to the library.
Sounds good. Hmm. I might just go. I might just go with you. I could maybe find some books about cooking over there.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Cause we're nuts.
Haboku's just trotting behind the both of you. No, it's just a bit chipper to see you two having a good time.
Why do I get the sudden feeling that those two are going to end up sharing the bunk beds and I'm slowly going to have children in my house? Because we got Fulgur now. It's only a matter of time before Haboku ends up in the house.
Well, of course, the god of death needs his minion nearby at all times.
Perfectly timed.
I can't afford a bigger house.
For a bigger house, yeah, you're probably looking at like maybe in the like 200 byte range for a proper house.
That's the part where Haboku just starts adding money in Jace's things.
If we all save up together, you can get a penthouse together.
Ew.
Which is funny because you guys already have free housing within the thing headquarters.
We do. Anyway,
The
Sleep
dormitory.
I
is
mean,
also-
sure, but yeah, it's not the best. And where's Asher going to keep his throne in there?
Hey,
It just takes
Jace,
up the entire middle of the room.
Jace spent years of his life stashing money away to be able to buy a house someday when they found a place they could actually settle. He's proud of his little shithole.
there.
It's tiny, it's got 1 bedroom, but he has a house.
Hey, it is something to be proud of.
And now there's 19 bytes that's just going to live on that table forever.
Oh no, Fulgur wrote in the chat that he took it.
He takes the money.
Oh, okay.
I'll say, I'll say the night passes itself. With that, it essentially we're down to essentially the 2-day clock. So, essentially with everyone having their own sleep. Does Folger sleeping in the bed where Jason and Asher sleep together?
Jay sleeps on the couch.
Well, as to say, Folger's on the bed. You guys are on the couch, and Asher should be on you.
No, Asher's got his own room and a bed in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a bed jammed into one of the closets because that's where Trace tried to make a room, but it didn't work.
Yeah,
Okay.
Folger will have the mattress, I guess, pulled out into like the area where Jace is.
That works.
I'm guessing you don't sleep on your back.
That'd be difficult.
The problem
I
is
think-
he'd sleep on his back once,
E-
and that's where he lives now.
I imagine Arcus tried to do that once and said never again. Like a month later, ends up accidentally doing it again.
Is that one out of Folger's notes to Arcus? Stop doing that.
Sleeping on your back on accident.
It may have been in there.
So just some good general advice.
You
But
know,
yeah.
some brotherly advice. Stop being an idiot.
I will say that is essentially everyone having the night itself. We do still have a little bit of decent time left. Is there anything that people are planning on doing the next day? Is there any bigger places or anything? Would you all meet up? I think Haboku, Kotora, and Viv mentioned that they wanted to specifically go check in with Jason Asher to see if they knew where Folger was.
Yep, if Folger didn't show up at like breakfast the next morning.
Yeah. Although,
The issue is, I don't think they know where we live.
yeah, I should say we don't know
That's
where they
the
live. So
Yeah, but they were gonna. Rip was just gonna ask the DAH where they live. Like, if they live in the same
don't-
area.
I don't think that they would not, despite you guys being teammates, you guys are randomly assigned teammates, which means you do have the privacy amongst each other. Maybe if you were family, but the best thing you could do is ask Kiga and Kino to check up on them to make sure that obviously you report kind of like a half report of a missing person. Just ask them to go check. They wouldn't tell you where the address is, but they could always have themselves, pass by. As the Guardian would take it upon himself to make sure someone from his own agency isn't having trouble with, especially within the city itself, since that is his literal domain.
Out of curiosity, Zerda,
hmm
do phones exist like landlines?
There was some very small communications within major cities, but it is very, very essentially limited to either the wealthy or essentially under the necessity. So you yourself would probably not have one itself, but there would be essentially maybe a very small communications within some of the bigger businesses in town, maybe even enough to actually have like a payphone essentially.
Well,
Essentially, if you're
Zerda, the only reason why I ask is that means phone books exist. And do you know what phone books used to do back in the 90s and before like the internet existed?
just fully doxing every single person in existence.
Yes, if you knew somebody's full name, you could find somebody's address in the phone book.
excellent.
I'll
Just
say
saying.
phone books luckily do not exist in this universe, thank goodness.
Sorry, guys, I tried to help you figure it out.
Oh well, Rib is actually fine if they want to
would
go.
go check on them as
Yeah.
being the Guardian.
And I mean, they will show up eventually, I would imagine.
Not by
Yeah.
breakfast, I don't think. 'Cause I think does Asher make breakfast in the morning of them?
No, this time I'm doing it. It's that way I can dye the cabbage pink.
Oh yeah,
You don't even technically you just get. Okay, whatever.
It's already made pie, so I have to dye it.
yeah.
Okay,
It is
okay,
already made. They gave them a complete dish, expecting them to eat the complete dish.
Even though cabbage turns white when it's cooked, so it might be okay.
It is translucent. I will say that it is kind of translucent, kind of like how an onion is whenever it gets cooked.
Damn it! Now
Because-
I want red cabbage.
Because cabbage pie and eggs is yum.
Have you had cabbage pie?
Yes. I'm from
actually
a
haven't
very
had it.
Irish family.
I have never had cabbage pie. I have almost never even partaken of cabbage before. I use spinach and lettuce, but never cabbage.
You should try some red cabbage.
You should just try
love
cabbage. Cabbage is just
sauerkraut.
delicious. Oh, sauerkraut. See, one half my family's Nordic, the other half is Irish. So yes, I've eaten cabbage and a lot of it. I actually got cabbage in the fridge right now.
I will
Oh, wow.
happily just sit down and eat a bowl of sauerkraut by itself. Even better if you
Same,
mix
that's why
it
we're out
with
of sauerkraut.
Thousand Island.
Thousand Island, or you could just put a little ketchup on top. That works as well.
Ketchup on sauerkraut? Really?
Have you never had a bratwurst?
I've had a bratwurst once or twice. That's sausage, right?
It's... Oh, boy. I'm going to shut up
As
now.
Zerda just casually triggers basically everybody in the chat.
I know. I've had bratwurst the sausage before, and I've had sauerkraut once or twice, but not very. But
You put bratwurst on the sauerkraut, and it...
then the ketchup.
You could also
I
just eat it
guess-
on the side.
We actually
I
have
have-
brats in the fridge right now.
I'm about to go make some brats or something. Like, holy shit.
Sausage and brats are different.
Yes.
They are similar, but different. It's kind of like saying bacon and sausage are the same.
I thought it was just like I thought brats were essentially just sausage with like a specific kind of casing or something.
It's a particular type of meat and a particular type of seasoning as well.
Oh. I
Yep,
grew
and
up
often-
I grew up in this.
You oftentimes also boil it in beer before you grill it.
We had classic hot dogs. We always just had hot dogs. We never got upgraded to the big man's bratwurst. It was always just the little dinky hot dogs.
But yeah, I guess I guess congratulations, guys. You're gonna get a visit from the fucking Guardian because the rest of the team is like, hey, one of our teammates like hasn't been seen, and we want to ask one of our other teammates, but we don't know where they live. Can you go ask them and see if they know where the last teammate is?
Cabbage pie, eggs, and kielbasa.
I will say, as essentially as you were eating your breakfast in the morning, you do get a knock on the door, Jace.
Jace to leave the kids to eat and go and answer the door. Then look up.
You see a very tall Werewolf that's taller than the door that you currently are opening. This person would not fit through the door.
I'm just
He's probably
I'm just
Go ahead.
imagining that he is crouching down.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you actually know, Guillemon's only like 3 feet tall. I think I looked it up after a session once.
They're
like,
5 feet.
Oh, 5 feet? Are they? Because they're the same height as like a 12-year-old kid. Because they were the same height as the kid that they were in like the Digimon show.
Kids are surprisingly tall, though.
It really depends on whether or not you're basing it off the American age or the Japanese age, because they're different ages. In Japan, they're like 10. In America, they're supposedly 14. And the average height of a 14-year-old boy is anywhere from 4.5 to 5 feet.
Oh, really? I thought I was just I think like everyone is like 3 feet tall until they're like 17 or something. I do not recognize kids. I am never around kids.
I did pixel measurements. I'm sorry.
Wow, are kids really that tall? Dang. But yeah, you would see, yeah, definitely, Roguman definitely is very much taller than a 5-foot door, though. But yeah, you look up, you see Kina themselves, with a little bit of a cough in their throat. They, hey, good morning, Jace. I got reports from your other team stating there was a missing party member in action.
Slow.
They wouldn't have made it that dramatic, but
Slowly looks back into the kitchen, then back at the Guruman. Why didn't they just come by? Arcus is right. Well, Fulgur's right there.
Kinda
Stay
looks,
the night.
That's perfectly good on here. We don't divulge the addresses of teammates to each other. Despite us having to work together, we like to keep the business outside of the city instead of inside the city.
Oh, well, future reference, you can share my address with them. It's fine.
You kind of see him looking over your home as he does kind of tower over a little bit, almost essentially able to see the ceiling without pretty much any trouble at all. As he kind of stands there fully tall. You know, with a few more missions, he kind of looks down. I could find a better living quarters, especially if you're going to be more welcome in the city. I'd like to make sure that you have something worth saving in the city, and I'm sure this is also as well, but something that you can fit more than just you and your kid in.
I'm not planning on having any more kids right now. Look, I'm that's really appreciated, but I like working for my stuff. This is a point of pride.
He kind of looks. Of course, I'm talking about pride in your work, as in you keep working for us, and I can find you a high reward building. A lot of the plannings of buildings and housing gets transferred and filtered through Kiga back at the office. They have to approve a lot of the housing for new residents, especially with how many people are coming into the city. I could find you a house at cost is the best way I can say for it. Trust me when I say you'd have to earn it yourself by all means, but consider it an assistance if you are able to keep working in the jobs here.
I will waver a little bit. We'll burn that bridge when we need to cross it.
You see him give a long, toothy grin with his muzzle. It would be my pleasure. And then he kind of looks. I'll go report back to the others that Fulgur is safe. Once
All right.
again, I'm happy to have you in the city. I'll leave you to your morning.
Thank you. Closes the door. Hey, Fulgur.
Yeah.
Did you tell the others where you were going by chance?
Volker is like,
We'll just walk by, put a hand on your head like he does to Asher, sits down. Next time, remember to do that.
okay.
Now eat up, the kielbasa will get cold. It doesn't taste as good.
But I like cold things.
Well, I... Jace has no argument in this fight. He can't argue with that. He's already got to argue with the green is poison.
I mean, to be entirely fair, if Fulgur and Arcus apparently live in the snow region, this is entirely consistent.
Your food will get cold. I chilled it
Oh, okay.
myself.
When? Basically, the equivalent of if a man drinks like that and he doesn't eat, he is gonna die. When?
Go through all the effort of making this nice food.
And they immediately chill it. You get like the perfect sear on top. Like you even like find some like even like maybe some like extra like eggs, and you have like the perfect seared like eggs on top, and then he just chills it completely down.
Really Gimund. Get the hiccups
Okay,
there,
you know
buddy.
what? You know what? Fuck this. I'm making some brats real quick. Throwing them in the air fryer.
Got him.
But yes, you'd find yourself early. What is actually, okay, I better actually can stay with you guys while Riff is doing that. What you guys plan for the day as you're eating the morning meal together?
Well, Asher is quickly trying to eat it because he's got a lot of studying that he wants to do today.
Jace is just gonna go grocery shopping, probably spend a couple of bits, and then go train. He's got retraining to do.
Oh yeah, Asher, do you share any of your books that you got at the library with Jace?
Yeah, sure. So I picked up some psychology books, and I'm looking forward to studying those.
Why does this fact kind of scare me? You're not trying to learn mind control powers again, are you?
I don't have to answer that without my lawyer present. I know my rights.
Buddy, your lawyer's is a teddy bear.
That is Mr. Lawyer to you.
Do you want me to go get Mr. Lawyer?
Yes.
Fulgur gets to watch Jace get up, comes back with a teddy bear, sets on the table. You're not trying to learn mind control powers again, are you?
No. Though those would be
Okay.
fun.
Fulgur, meet Mr. Lawyer. It's one of those Bearmon Digimon, except it's got a tie and a little briefcase glued to its paw.
Oh, a Bearmon. I was thinking more of a Monsaimon.
They're just straight up just Bearmon just exists. Just straight up just Bearmon.
A Bearmon plushie would be pretty adorable.
Oh, I'm sure that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it exists.
Yeah, 100%. A million of them.
So if you ever need a lawyer, here's a good one. Apparently, question or deals with anything with me.
Fulgur looks between Jace, the Asher, and the lawyer Bearmon plush. So, has he ever won anything?
Unfortunately, yes. Jace admits.
Yeah, it's how I got the fort in my room.
Unfortunately.
And I don't have to organize it like Jace wants.
He's a legal adult. Shrugs. I got tired of talking to the bear.
No. I should probably get back to the others now, as he's keeping an eye on the bear, as he's basically walking out.
I mean, if you want to, but you're welcome to stay.
Sounds like the others were worried about. And he seems to pause for a second. Us? As he points to himself.
A little bit,
Then-
but they should find out whether you are shortly.
They'll be fine.
Do you want me to put Mr. Lawyer Bear away?
Fulgur looks at the bear again.
It's literally just a stuffed animal. It's okay.
Oh,
It's a joke.
He's not actually alive or anything. It's just funny watching Jace try to argue his points to him.
Which Asher makes me do because he'll refuse to talk until I do so.
I see.
Now I cannot help but wonder what Monsaimons think of stuffed animals, because they're literally a living stuffed animal.
They like
We'll
to go
talk
to the
about the
fair
toy
and
Digimon.
sneak into the booths and wait for somebody to win them and then go boo.
It's
That's
kind
what I
of
would
like
do.
it's kind of like the Halloween, it's like the Halloween living decoration, where they just have like a candy bowl in their lap and they look like a scarecrow or something.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. I could see Monsamos, but I could see Monsamos actually having a job as a living scarecrow. that would be very effective.
I think it would be more effective with, what is it, Black Monsimon?
Water Monsamon.
That one.
Yeah.
Isn't there a polar bear equivalent too?
Yeah.
I-
I don't know what the name is, but I do remember whenever I was searching Ice Region Digimon, I did see that.
I actually wasn't familiar with the icy version. Let me see if I can find it.
I remember it from the original series.
Well, there's Chakmon, which is a ice snow bear essentially.
You
Yeah,
might be
Frigimon.
Yeah, you might be
Frigimon.
thinking of Frigimon, but that's not part of the Monsamon line. They're just a snow bear.
Oh yeah, I think I was thinking of Frigimon. Frigimon. Yeah, I found that whenever I was doing the ice area.
Now I feel old. Still, I'll go ahead and put the Bearmon away. The little stuffed animal.
I wonder if Jason's gonna eventually have to explain to Folger that he needs to probably kill people on this job.
I don't know how long Folger's gonna be out for. Anyways, I'm more afraid that if I tell him, by the way, we might have to kill people, he'll just run. Anyways, I'm not the only adult in this party. Other people can be dad for half a second.
I mean,
Okay.
Riv would tell him, but Riv wouldn't think to tell him by himself.
To be fair, your only other person that can speak to him at the moment is Asher. So you got that.
Where did the talk about killing even began from?
That was me. I made the joke.
That was
Folger, yes, you do see them put away. You do know that obviously you are welcome back, but you feel, especially with the mentioning, you would know that Kino would be very much responsible for telling the rest of the group where they are. So you would feel confident in knowing that they wouldn't at least worry about you for being missing. They would worry about you for other reasons, but for being missing, you feel like they would at least know where you are. You feel at least a sense of trust in Kino's abilities.
Yeah.
Your
But
excuse to sneak away.
I think, though, I should probably head back over there.
Okay, be safe. You can handle yourself without running away from all the crowds, right?
Dot.
Fogger was apparently walking around the city without panicking to some extent. So
Oh yeah, now you've made him think about it.
Yeah.
Do you only take dark corridors and back alleys?
Dark corridors and back alleys.
I'll get you back to base. Come on.
Well, I
Now
guess
that
I'll go
he's-
with.
He's suddenly thinking about it now.
Come on. You can
He's
hide
gonna-
behind me.
You look out
Get
the
up.
door, Fogger, and you just see like a bunch of Digimon, both tall, small, and everywhere in between, going about their day. Some you see, like especially one especially tall Digimon, essentially walks by you. You realizing that you're about the size of their entire foot, and that you could just be squished under them at any moment. As you realize essentially the Digimon going back and forth, and you kind of begin to realize how big of a world you're kind of in as you stare out at the door.
my God, do you want to make this worse?
Yes, I think he does.
This is the storyteller.
Folger's probably gonna be looking down most of the time. And letting Jace guide.
Do you want me to just carry you? I can just carry you on my back.
Sure. And he climbs up on Jace.
Used to have to carry Asher like this all the time.
And then he got fat.
I am not fat.
Whatever you say,
Jamie.
Thunder Thighs.
We're going back to base.
Yep, I'd say you make it back to base pretty well. You'd probably find, with no need to go to the mess hall themselves, you'd probably find the rest of the group inside their room itself, with everyone else. Essentially, Viv and Kotora and Haboku would at least be in their room finishing up essentially what would be, their morning activities. Maybe gathering their things before they go out for the day.
Kotora is stretching and getting his backpack ready.
Yeah, Everett would probably just be looking through his stuff, clicking away on his digipad for a little bit, checking things.
Haboku would probably just be stretching as well, and probably giving himself a little shake.
Walks in, sets Fulgur down. I present to you a Fulgur.
Oh,
Oh, good morning. Hi, Fulgur. Hi, Jace. Hi, Asher.
there you three are.
I'm
So-
assuming Big Guy hasn't reported in yet.
Has
Got
he?
delayed.
I say that
He
again.
ended up
Got
getting
delayed.
he ended up getting delayed due to various town activities.
In that case, Ribs is just gonna shake his head a bit and go, no, we didn't end up hearing back from him yet, actually.
He probably got busy with his duties, but he will have gotten to us eventually. I guess you guys got here first. Where were you all day yesterday, Fulgur?
Went to the blanket shop, then ran to Asher.
Ah. Oh, okay. Let me guess. Did you stay at their house?
He does a nod.
I see. That makes sense. Ah. I mean,
that's good.
yeah, that makes sense. But we were a bit worried for you. Not gonna lie, since we didn't hear from you all day yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why we asked Kino to look for you.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't just give you my address.
I tried asking, they didn't want to give it out.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those city things. I'm from a small town. If you would have asked back when I was from, they would have just pointed at my house.
I don't see the problem with telling people where other people live.
Jay shrugs. But here, I'll just write down my address. You guys can just show up next time that way.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Oh, okay, yeah, real quick. Hey, Fulgur. So I was trying to think about ways to help, since, you kind of told me what was going on. I haven't had time to research stuff. But I did have a bit of another idea. Did you have a lot of technology where you two were from?
Next to none.
None really. Only
Okay.
what traders would bring in occasionally.
Oh, okay. So do you know if Arcus re-forgets if he learns something new? Does it, prevent him from figuring things out, or is it just he's forgotten everything?
Well, can't really know about me.
Is it anything about you?
Well, as Folker remembers, yesterday, there, if it's vague enough,
If it's big enough, what?
it can get through.
So if it's blatant, he wouldn't recognize it. But if it's big, it would actually do something. That sounds weird.
Okay, so we can't say that you're his brother, but what if we just say your name?
He shakes his head.
Okay, so not even the name?
Tried.
What about? Then what about what you had in mind yesterday, Ray? What about a picture?
Picture might work, but also, I kind of have a digipad, which is a bit of technology that lets me do a couple of neat things, and one of which is taking videos of things. Which means that even if we can't do it right now properly, would you like to leave a video diary for Arcus? I mean, I can happily let you use my digipad for it. Every time that you're awake. Is that the right term? Is that how you like to put it?
I was just thinking of getting a notebook and writing down in that.
Oh, I have a notebook. Haboku will dig around and in his bag to get the self-writing notebook.
Hmm. I don't want to ask if you have ever gotten the chance to do the video idea at all, Folger. I don't imagine so.
Those notes I've done.
I will say, Volga, you have no idea what a video is. You would have
Yeah,
zero
he's-
knowledge of what a video is.
He's
Yeah.
basically just going off of his own knowledge.
Yeah. No, Rib was about to explain a lot more about his idea.
Yeah.
So-
Wait. You don't know what a video is, right?
No.
Okay. So, a video, so I think the best way to explain it is imagine being able to take a small snippet of something happening. Like, you've seen like pictures and stuff before, right?
Probably. You've seen art probably more than anything.
Drawings
pictures,
and
portraits.
stuff.
Okay. So, you know how it doesn't capture everything, but you're able to look at it and see how something else looked, even if it's not right in front of you?
Yeah.
It captured a specific point in time.
Yeah, well, okay. A video is like that, but it's higher quality, and you're also able to show someone, the sounds that were going on. So, you could talk to it. Here, actually, I could go ahead and show you.
Does
He's
that
just gonna go-
mean you could use it for looking at things in ruins to review later?
Oh, yeah, I used to use it all the time for that. That's actually why I really wanted to make my own, which I ended up doing, and I keep it on me all the time, because I used to use it when I was exploring ruins. No, well, I use it all the time, technically, but yeah. Here. Let me show you. And he is going to go ahead and set it up so that way it could take a small video. Not with it doesn't have like the best quality, but it is
Yeah.
like video.
It's the Barbie cam.
Yeah, it technically works. And for this day and age, this is like pretty good quality camera. And he is going to basically take a small video of himself standing next to Fulgur, waving at the digipad, and going, "Hi, I'm Riven. This is Fulgur." Wait to it, Fulgur.
Fulgur is gonna like rigidly wave up, raise it up his hand.
All right, and then he'll stop it, and then turn it around and show Fulgur.
Aru is probably a bit crushed, but
Well, yeah, but it still works.
It
Yeah.
gets the point across in very low-end fashion. But also
Yeah.
to
You've
you've
stolen
never seen this
Fulgur.
before.
Fulgur, he's stolen
Soul.
you. Your soul is in the camera.
But yeah, no, he is showing Fulgur the small little video.
Impressive, isn't it?
Haboku's just watching all this go down and not able to make any sense of it, so he just has he stars in his expression.
Yeah, I understand nothing of what's going on, but something is going on. Hell yeah.
Asher's moving over to
This is-
Haboku. Go ahead.
This is cool.
Yeah, so if you want, we could make little videos like this where you could try talking with Arcus. I mean, it'd be delayed, and then I'd have to take a recording of him trying to talk back if he is able to understand or remember anything. But you could actually, see him talking and hear him.
Speaking of talking, well, when I went to see Asher yesterday, I asked him to check up on me a little bit because I was worried about something in addition to what he found previously. Well, he ended up looking around fixing something and doing something else, and was able to, I think Arcus was able to become aware of me for a little bit.
Oh, that's great.
That's
But-
fantastic.
I don't think he really. He said he was like felt like two people at the moment.
Huh.
I mean, I guess with your situation, I guess that makes sense. You guys are basically sharing a body. It has to be kind of awkward for him when he usually isn't aware of you.
Yeah. Although the weird part is that you have more than 2 times the density in your chest, and I'm still not sure what's going on with that.
He's got some kind of artifact in there.
Yeah.
Is it related to the thing that you were talking to me about earlier? With the Henka ruins?
Yeah. Arcus said he found something, and he wasn't himself. He was just did not focus on exploring it at all. He was only focused on finding it.
Huh.
That's peculiar. Huh.
Yeah, Arcus not exploring?
That
He
definitely
was
definitely doesn't sound like him from what we've seen of him.
Huh.
think-
Well, I think that this is all the more reason to try the the recording. As if he was able to get a little bit, maybe we should try and capitalize on that.
Yeah, and if nothing else, it's something new that you haven't been able to try before.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind helping you do it, and maybe you could do like a little video diary at the end of every day that you're awake. Just talk about how your day went or something.
maybe. How much are those things?
Um, uh, expensive? As in, I kind of had to custom make this.
Yeah, Rip kind of made his own. We wouldn't really be able to afford one of those. At least not without saving for a while.
I also have one that can do that. Though mine has controllers on it, so I can play games.
Sudoku's a game.
Sudoku is not a game, it's a way
We're
of
not
life.
starting. I was about to say we're not starting this argument again, but I will leave this be now.
But yeah, no, mine is made so that way I could have a lot of storage because I like putting scans of stuff in it, and that takes a lot of data. But no, I you can definitely use mine to do a couple of recordings like as a little journal. And I will try and convince him to do one too.
I'll think about it. But Arcus took it really hard back then.
I mean, I don't want to make him sad, but the thing is that don't you think he'd rather know?
Well, what I mean by take it hard is, well, when I got glitched and my body was being eaten away.
Does he feel responsible for what happened to you? Or rather, responsible for getting you better?
I and
given it-
Volker's just sort of quiet.
Kotora is rubbing the back of his head.
I mean,
I got close to it, didn't I?
It's I Volker's just sort of in a little bit of like a depressed mood.
Riv is just gonna go, okay, so if you aren't sure about it yet, Fulgur, do you want me, whenever Arcus wakes back up, do you want me to convince him to try it first? So that way you could see?
Sure.
I can even truthfully say that it is a important part about the research that I was doing into his glitch, because I was trying to do research into his glitch and was even mostly kind of observing him for a couple of nights in order to try and figure out what exactly was going on with him. So this isn't even lying or anything. So I could just ask him, and it's true.
Huh? I see.
We just want to help you out, Fulgur. Both you and Arcus.
Yeah.
Hey, Fulgur, would you like some more snowberries? I could try and get some for you.
Yeah.
Kotora nods and he immediately goes to fetch some snowberries.
Well,
This time he's going to make sure that they're not snozzberries that were in competition.
See, the cafeteria has like a brand new label that says flameberries. In question mark, it has like a question mark, exclamation mark, question mark.
Oh, they took my advice. Hooray.
well, if you guys don't need me, I'm just gonna go off and get to my training and stuff. See you later, Asher.
See you.
Bye, Jace.
Yeah, feel free to stop by, y'all.
Alright, so, Haboku.
Hmm?
We're gonna move you.
Head tilt as he is not understanding what he means by move.
So, you're gonna come live with us now. Gotta keep my minion close. Okay?
Oh, okay. Hey, I think.
Cool. Okay, so, come with me.
Okay. Hey, see you, Kotora, Raven, and Fulgur. Haboku will then follow. Oh, Asher.
Okay, bye, you two. See you later.
Wait, have you had breakfast yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because we already had breakfast, so come on. And he's going to lead the way back to the house.
Probably a good thing he did that, because Haboku who was probably going to find it by scent, good as he cannot read well.
Run off.
Like a 15,
That would-
20-minute walk.
That would also be very difficult to pull off considering how many people go through this city.
100%, yeah.
I don't know. Have you just tried playing the Pink Panther theme out of your digipad? That'll help.
Da-da,
I'd say
da-da-da-da-da.
I'd say up to 15 to 20 minutes, you'd probably get to your house. Depending on the rush amount of it and the traffic of the area, but enough that you'd be able to reach your home pretty easily. About 15 minutes.
Okay, so this is our house. We've got a bunch of stuff here. So that's the couch where Jay sleeps. If you want the best bed in the house, it'll be on top of him when he's on there. Otherwise, there's this mattress over here that Fulgur used. But here's my room.
Haboku goes inside, potentially trips on something.
Probably. It's not dirty, just cluttered.
Welcome to No Man's Land.
So this is my throne room. I've got all my books over here. I got the blankets. I got the pillows. I got the fort. It's my castle, so I can rule over the land from here. And as my minion, you gotta stay here.
Okay, makes sense. Wait, what happens when we're not here?
That's a good question. Well, when we're not here, the door guards it. I'll put up some traps. In fact, you could help me.
Okay.
Oh, not more traps.
And I'm thinking for the next couple of hours, they're probably setting up traps throughout the apartment.
Yeah. And then we'll say, what is, just to keep on theme, Riv, do you go back to the computer lab?
No, he's actually going to go to the library first today, and is going to be searching around for anything related to the Henka ruins.
Okay. And Kotora and Haboku. What? Oh, no, good thing. Kotora, you're all alone now.
Naturally,
I
Kotora.
mean,
Fogo was there,
Fulgur,
but Kotora was actually planning to go to the library with Riv.
Yep.
I mentioned this yesterday.
oh, yeah. Fulgur, are you gonna follow?
Kotora, since there's nobody else there, Kotora would invite Fogo to come with them.
You know, Raharu, it's not surprising that Zerd doesn't know this because, you know, that yesterday we were doing Lost in Chaos. So, I mean, it's nice that you mentioned it where Enja could hear, but that doesn't help Zerda.
Mwam.
Like I don't recall any of this conversation, but
Goobers.
yeah, Fulgur. I will say, Fulgur. Do you mention to Fulgur Riv that you're going to be going to look up Hinka ruins?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fulgur, yeah,
It's
Okay.
Riv and sharing knowledge. Come on, Zerda.
exactly. You specifically get mentioned. Riv specifically points out the Henka ruins.
He's out the door. He basically
He borrowed Arcus's energy for a moment to follow.
Yep. Henka Ruins library. Wait, where's the library?
Well, Riv knows. Kotora is following.
Yep.
Poker man.
I actually am working on a beautiful book list for the game as well. I do have I'm up to the eyes.
Nice. Also, what were you gonna say, Folger?
Poker sort of bolted ahead of you two.
Oh well, yeah, but Riv is totally running out immediately.
Kotora is
Okay.
following.
Are you gonna go to the library? Are you gonna get to the library before them?
No, Folger doesn't know where the library
Fulgur
is.
doesn't know where he's going.
Oh.
He probably stopped for a moment once he realizes that.
Wait a minute. As he's now looking around.
Father, you ran off before we could tell you things.
Oh.
Yeah.
I pulled an Arcus.
It's fine. We're teammates with Arcus, and we are very used to it.
Yep. I guess you two have that thing in common when you get excited.
He sort of looks away.
Kotora just gives him a cheeky grin.
Rib is gonna try and grab onto Argus's Fulgur's claws, and start pulling him towards the library effectively. He has an excited library buddy. What did you think was gonna happen?
Note to
Kotora-
self: buy collar.
That's gonna be a lot of. Oh yeah, I should add that to the gear list, adventuring gear list.
Harness.
I swear it's for dog sledding.
No, not this again.
Also, Kotora is just happy to see Riv with an actual friend. It's adorable.
I'll say I might send you guys in private what you find at the library itself, and then
Yeah, that's
just
fine.
for the time skip itself. And then in the meantime, I'll say we are kind of wrapping it up here, so just to give you a heads up. I'll say especially with this second day, people kind of knowing the city, you're getting more familiar with the city itself. Like I said, essentially everyone seems to be kind of doing very similar. I will find what Riv and I'll find out what Riv and Folger find. There is technically one last day in the city. What would you guys like to do for that last day in the city? Before essentially like the train starts coming into the station, you grab the stuff that you pre-ordered and stuff like that. What do you guys want to do for the last day in the city? Or do we want to time skip it?
Real quick, on an aside, hey Gimund, what's Folger's academics?
Folger's academics is 1.
All right, cool. Do you have better academics or teamwork?
They have 0.
Cool. In that case, before session ends, I am gonna go ahead and do that roll, and then do some
Oh
soul,
no!
I'm gonna do that. Oh,
and then I'm gonna willpower. No wait, that was the wrong one to do.
yeah, up to 2 so far.
That's a lot better.
There you go.
There's a Vormapedia roll.
There's a much
There's the
from
Vormapedia.
1
All right, 8. Yep.
You went from 1 to 8. I will say, Folger, you especially find it. I will say you find an odd comfort in the library
Generously
itself.
stole.
Raharu 95 tipped $10.
Thank you so much for that tip, Raharu. That is the 3rd tier of the tip goal completed.
Welcome.
Not that we're likely to finish it, but on to the last.
I mean, there was a few bits of trouble in Paradise. I don't know. I'd like to say there was some pretty deep trouble today, and some shenanigans. But yeah, I'll say I will keep that roll, and I will actually use that roll. Because it's like really heavy lore stuff, I will help you find essentially stuff regarding that. What do you guys want to do for the last day?
Haboku was probably going to find some place to train using the dagger a bit.
Yep. Go ahead.
Riv, go ahead.
Just go.
All right. Well, Zerta said for me to go, so I guess I'll do that. So for the rest of the second day, when he's not in the library, which will be like a very small part of it, he'll probably just go catch up with Han. Then on the last day, he'll go ahead, do some training in the morning, and then besides that, just probably more database stuff all day.
Okay.
With like just stocking up on rations and all that. We don't hard keep track of rations. I'm just making note that you do that.
Yeah. I do have a food list now, so you can at least have specialized food that you'd like to carry.
Oh, nice.
If you don't have any of that. I know you guys haven't had a chance to look at the list. Take a look at it sometime, maybe tomorrow. Take a look at the list. I put a lot of work into that. There's a full grocery list now.
Nice.
Asher, what would you like to be doing over the next day? Is there anything you'd like to roleplay for the next 2 days in the city?
Well, he would probably show Haboku how his dock works.
Okay, we can do that.
And otherwise, while hopefully Haboku gets it and is entertained by the video games, Asher will be studying his books.
Okay. And let's see, Folger, are you going to follow one of them, or are you going to strike out on your own?
After the library, he's probably gonna maybe go find a. He'd probably want to get a notebook and then realize maybe something he could write like constellations on and stuff.
So a sketchbook.
I can actually have. There is a. I think we did decide that in the city there is a kind of like a astronomy building enough, kind of like one of those like globe kind of things where you kind of like the global telescope and stuff. Very rudimentary, nothing like too fancy, but I would say there is an astronomer-based Digimon or astral-based Digimon in town. I can let you have a scene with one of them.
He was more just wanting to get like a sketchbook from the store, not really go there yet. His
Okay.
timidness and all. And
Well,
then at night though, he's going to go into the training room and might have a little moment in there.
Okay. I'll have a moment with Asher and Haboku. Then we'll have you with the training room, and I'll give everyone an extra 5 EXP today for all of the training that you're going to be doing because it's considered downtime. So we'll have an extra 5 EXP for all the downtime training you guys are doing in the city, since it's a specialized location and a hub world.
Zerta, have you seen the updated rules for XP?
Oh no, I have not.
Okay.
I heard.
It's basically just a sliding scale of how happy you were with us and how much progress you think we made.
Yeah, it's in the storyteller's manuscript of the book. Near the end of the chapter, so you can look that up later when you actually give us out XP and stuff.
Yeah. I'll have to find that again. But yes, I will find that. I did hear you guys talking a little bit before session started about EXP stuff, but I didn't catch the full breadth of it, so I was making my little note. Okay, but yeah, I think that is where we will good. We'll have a good role play with Asher and Haboku, and then we'll have that, and then we will have everyone pick up, or we'll have Arcus and Asher, Folger and Asher pick up their specialized materials, and then you guys should have the complete shopping list that you can grab from, and you can just let me know what you grab from the shopping list. We'll just grab it and deduct the money. I trust y'all, and then you can supply yourselves with the shop that I'm making.
Wait, what specialized materials is Asher picking up?
The heat-resistant blankets. It is still considered a.
Oh, those. Okay.
Yeah, you have a very special blanket. It is a custom order blanket for that.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They work as essentially it works as a fire resistant blanket, and then Folger has something a little bit more special than that.
Well, Asher got the fire and cold.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got the fire. Thank you for reminding me. So you get the fire and the cold, and then let's see. Folger has the actual metal reinforced one. Cold and fire resistant. Perfect. Thank you for that. Perfect. But I think that is where we are good. I have knowing where to start, and then we'll have some adventure and times are coming.
Oh boy.
You
Haboku
didn't.
getting introduced to gaming.
You've introduced Haboku to online MMOs.
Not online. I don't think online MMOs.
You've introduced them to World of Warcraft Classic.
You introduced him to the equivalent of the local LAN party, like dumb games that we used to play as a kid, but like were actual garbage.
It's just
So
all
just-
Stickman. It's just all Stickman theater.
Just to put it out there, because I'm going to go insane if I don't say this, it wasn't World of Warcraft before World of Warcraft, it was just Warcraft.
Yeah, my
That was just
childhood was LAN parties of Warcraft 3 and Age of Empires 2.
Yep,
Hey
and I
there.
was very much in the Age of Empires 2 camp. 32,000 hours now, by the way.
I actually really love the Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. That's actually where I spent most of my time. Those are the modding community with that
Garrison
game.
the sheep.
Also,
I got fond memories of Galaga.
What's up, Raharu?
I was just I wanted to say what Kotora is gonna be doing tomorrow.
Oh yeah, what do you? Sorry, I thought I asked. What's Kotora doing?
Well, he might come and visit Asher just because he may like to ask a book if he'd like to train with him. If not, he'll train on his own. But besides that, he's probably going to try bring up to Rip that one talk that they two of them still need to have.
You bring it up in the library. Just
Not at the library. He wouldn't do that to Riv.
and they're in the most natural element. What do you mean?
He's not going to bother his brother where he's the happiest.
Well, if Haboku is staying with Astro and Jace, that does only in Fulgur. If Fulgur goes back to the ceiling, it does cutting roof.
Silly.
The ceiling.
I keep saying the ceiling instead of the roof.
Fulgur's
The
just
roof-
using his quills to inch across the ceiling like a caterpillar.
I'm just imagining while the quills are autonomously moving, he's busy T-posing the entire time.
That does leave Riv and Kotora sleeping in the same room without anyone else. Your party of 6 is down to a party of 2 who actually stays at the place.
Well,
What I-
Fulgur might sleep there depending on what happens.
I guess we'll see.
Leave them alone together. But yeah, I think that is where we are good. I'm getting a little bit sleep happy, so
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for Data Anomaly Hunter's Scar. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, picking up packs of cards to stream loots, using our Humble Bundle partner link, or picking up some merch over at zgfgaming.store. But for now, thank you so much for joining, everyone, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Oh.